these roads and up in the clouds, but I've always felt that something's missing. That was until I found you right there in the crowd. You came into my life and started a fire. You made me feel like I could touch the sky. Oh, there's nothing missing now that you're my desire. Now all I have to do is to make you mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me, 'cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. I've been waiting for the one forever. Finally I got you, baby, here in my heart. When I'm with you I feel so much better, oh yeah. Before you I was just a shell, so stuck in the dark. You came into my life and started a fire. You made me feel like I could touch the sky. Oh, there's nothing missing now that you're my desire. Now all I have to do is to make you mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me, 'cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. Follow your heart, baby, don't be shy. Just follow yours and I'll follow mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me, 'cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. Something good. Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around so little, and we keep track of time, being so serious. Idiots thinking it will matter, keep me company downtown before the clock runs out. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember all things must pass. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, 'cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, no, not yet, whoa. I'm afraid I'll end up nowhere. They keep saying I'll be fine, but how you know that I'll be there when it feels like I'm lying every time someone asks how it goes, and I save the details that actually mean something. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember all things must pass.
All right, hello everybody. I had a little bit of a cameraman function there. Pressed it a little too early, but I am here and it is Friday. At least where I am, it's Friday. Uh 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We are ready for today's show. So let me go and change it just to me so you guys can see me again. Hello. Hello. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight on this wonderful Friday night or otherwise, depending on where you are in the world? This is episode 19 of Beyond the Doll. As always, I am your host, Shizusan, and my lovely assistant here is the very beautiful Asuna Yuki from Sword Art Online. She is keeping me company as well as another guest for today's episode. So, my guest doesn't really need much of an introduction. It's very popular in both the BJD world and on video game streaming. So, without further ado, welcome my lovely guest for today's episode. We have the very beautiful LavilyDay. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good.
You having
I don't
good?
know about that. Doesn't need introducing.
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, within your own right, I guess you could say. You're very, very good at what you do. So, this is my guest, LavilyDay. If you could please introduce yourself for individuals that may or may not know you.
Cool. So, hi, I'm Lovely. I have B with me. I chose B because she's my first smart doll, and my channel on YouTube kind of like did a thing after I got her, so I figured it only was right. But yeah, I'm from New Zealand. I've been collecting dolls for a while now, and I stream on Twitch. It's good fun. You'll find out more, I guess, in a bit.
Okay. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just messing with chat because I actually didn't leave a space for it to pop up. So, I'm just moving it around. But
Fair
yes,
enough.
thank you for that introduction. And today's video, so for people that don't know, we're going to be speaking with Lovely about dolls, her YouTube channel, and her Twitch streaming, as well as different topics within the doll community that we're going to be floating around. And as always, with my show, there's a lot of different tangents, so you never know where things will take us for the night. But that is like a short outline of what we are going to be doing today.
Just saw Corn
Um,
giving me shade about being on time. Boy, he's like,
Who's
I'm
giving
never
you
on
shade?
time. Reckons I should stream with you more often so I'm on time. Rude.
Rude. So before we get started, something I want to do that sometimes I remember to and sometimes I forget, but I want to acknowledge everybody that's in chat today. So welcome Sylvanas to the stream. Welcome John to the stream. Hello. Corn Curls, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Sylvana says, hi, I know nearly nothing about BJDs, but this will be fun anyways. Well, hopefully you'll learn something today about
Sylvie's
BJDs.
awesome.
Magical Girl Kit Kat is on. What's up, Kat? How you doing? Oh, Kat and
Cat.
Ben. What's up, Ben?
And Ben. Ben, hi.
Hello. Oh, My Lady Disdain. Welcome, My Lady Disdain, to the chat and
Hello,
to the
hello.
stream. John is waving. Magical Girls, Corn, John, and Sandy. Look at this. We have a bunch of people in here today. Um, what's it say? Shizusan, you can stream. Can you stream with Flying more often? Is that what he's talking about? Because I missed that
Yeah,
chat
he
part.
refers to me. He calls me Flying. It's an old nickname. We go way back.
I try to be on time. Okay, flying. I do try. Corns is cute. Hey, cats. Benjamin, hello. Uh,
Lumi, or is it Lummy? I'm sorry,
Lummy
I'm
Lum,
probably saying it
hello.
wrong.
Thank you for the wave. John says hashtag tangent. Yeah, John knows all about my tangents. John
Oh,
was a
there'll be a
guest.
few, John. Just
There
prepare.
probably will be. There, you know how it is. It's not planned, hence the tangent, but it comes. It just
I
comes.
said on their stream earlier, bring snacks.
Linda Hedgeveld, hello, welcome to the stream. And I think that's everybody, at least that I could tell that chatted. Oh, Extreme Kill 4? I think that's how you pronounce it. Hello, welcome to the stream, Extreme. Oh, welcome to the stream, Extreme. Wow, it just kind of flows off, doesn't it?
Streamception.
Good. Okay, so yeah, I think that's everybody in today's chat. So we looks like we have a couple of newcomers. So basically, what we're going to be doing in today's episode is talking about a lot of various different things, especially with Lavely here, giving her own little opinions on different topics that we'll be covering. But it is called Beyond the Doll, so mainly this is a vodcast or whatever stream that is going to be talking mostly about dolls, but we will branch out to other things, as I already explained. So first up, I am going to put Asuna in her little corner because she's starting to get heavy. I cannot hold on to them for like a whole stream because they tend to get heavy. So, Lavely.
Yes.
So if I might ask, because this is a doll stream, one of the first things I like to get from all my guests is kind of like an origin story, kind of like, you know, how you got started in the hobby, where did it come to be kind of thing. And it, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't, you know, doesn't have to be specifically about dolls that got you into dolls, but whatever it may be that got you started on your road to collecting dolls. How did that get started?
Hope you're ready for a long and waffly story.
I'm ready.
So honestly, I've tried to figure out exactly what started it, and I've not been able to kind of pin it down exactly. But I would like to probably attribute it to anime. I feel like it must have started there. I know I was at uni and I was looking into figures and stuff, and then I must have just somewhere along the line come across of like customization channels on YouTube. Nicole's Dreams was, I don't know if you're familiar with her.
It sounds familiar. I feel like I must have seen something, but I can't really remember off the top of my head, but the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, so they're very well known for customizing BJDs, resin ball jointed dolls. They had they were minifees mostly, but they had other things too. They had the minifee Chloe, which, like, if you know anything about resin BJDs, that's kind of like the like the one that lots of people end up falling in love with or seeing first for whatever reason. But yeah, so you know, I looked into these dolls and I saw the price tag, and then I immediately was like, no. And this kind of, I would go through obsessions where I say obsessions, but I would just watch video after video about these dolls, learning about them, watching other people's things, whatever. Knowing that I could never have this sort of thing. I mean, look at me now, but like that was the feeling, right?
Right.
I saw I remember when Smart Doll first came out, and your videos were amongst the ones that I saw. And for some reason I thought Smart Dolls were more obtainable than resin ball jointed dolls. Not sure why, but I still looked at the price tag and was like, no, there's no way. But I admired, so I was a long time admirer. I went through a few other dolls to try and like scratch that itch kind of thing. Growing up, I had Barbies for days, and I did have a couple of Bratz dolls that I thought were pretty cool. But what I loved about BJDs and whatever was the eyes, the inset eyes. I thought they were just the coolest thing. I don't know if you know of Bratzillas.
Yes.
They were a type of Bratz that came out that were like witchy vibes. I'm sad I've since sold those, so I don't have them anymore. But I had those, and I thought, yep, this'll, and I love them, but it wasn't quite what I wanted them to be. I got a and so I was always on the secondhand market. There's a site in New Zealand called Trade Me, which is like eBay but New Zealand based, right?
Okay.
Someone sold an A-Zone on there, so I had and I made sure I could remember what it was. So it's an A-Zone Snow White, Ica or whatever it was. So I had her, and I was like, oh, these clothes are amazing and detailed, but it still wasn't quite what I wanted it to be.
Are those the one that you got, the A-Zone? Was it one of the bigger ones or
No, it was
the
a
smaller
little one?
That was one of the littler ones. Okay.
She was about this big, yeah. She was very cute. Still wasn't quite, you know, what I wanted. And then someone was selling a senior Delph Clary on Trade Me, which was a 1/3 scale resin doll from Lutz, which is...
Oh yeah, that's a pretty popular company. I've heard that name so much. Like whenever I talk to doll people, that a lot of people know about them.
Yeah. So I did everything I could to be able to get the money to buy this doll,
Hmm.
because it was all of a sudden it was a value in my currency. They were in the country, because there were so many hurdles that when you don't know what you're doing, you're like, how do I? It's not as easy as, for sake, like Smart Doll these days. You just click add to cart, done,
Hmm.
easy. It's there within a week.
Right.
This wasn't. Yeah. And with resin, you've got to wait for a long time. I'm still waiting on some. It's been like 2 years, and
Do they have like, because I'm not so familiar with the whole resin side of it. I know like a little
Mhm.
bit of it, but when you say there's like a wait time, is it like Dolphy Dream where you have like sometimes you pre-order and you wait like a whole year before it comes out, or could
Yeah.
it be longer than that?
It can be longer than that. Yeah. I mean, production time is very much a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've only ordered directly from companies a handful of times. A lot of my dolls are secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and it varies from company to company. But
And that's understandable because, like you said at the beginning or the onset of your story, is that you saw the price tag, and it was like,
yeah, and I
oof.
was just noped out of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the price
yeah,
tag
someone in chat saying,
is definitely something that puts a lot of people off from starting this
mm,
hobby because it is definitely a huge jump. There's not many things. Well, I shouldn't say not many, but when you're growing up, I guess from a kid to your teenage years to your young adult years, like around $500 to $1,000 is a lot of money, and it still
it
is
is.
a lot of money now, even when you're an adult and you make your own money. But you know what I mean. It's that much harder when you're younger, to make that much, and I didn't get into this hobby until like later on into my life, so I was kind of like I had some small amount of disposable income to start the
Mm-hmm.
hobby. But I know a lot of people that watch my show and a lot of people I've talked to at panels. Price is definitely the biggest thing that puts them off. Like you can pay $500 or $600 for like, I don't know, like a PS5, but then there's just so much usability out of it. Like you could stream, you could play video games, you could watch movies on it. Like, but then the doll, like you just have the doll, which you could customize and dress up. But telling asking people to pay the same amount for something that's like technological is really hard for some people, to
Mm,
grasp,
it really
especially
is.
when most individuals like idea of a doll is like Barbie or Disney or American Girl dolls, for the
And they're
I
getting
guess
more
the
expensive these
general
days too,
audience.
though, as
They
well.
are.
Like,
They're starting to
yeah.
climb. Like they're starting to make like limited editions or special editions, and some of them have like numbers on them, for collectors. So those are starting to go up. But I think the from the general idea is like you kind of have like Barbies and Brats are kind of in the same price range, right? And then the more
Yeah, there's
exclusive
like
ones go
the.
higher.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like American Girl, which I think is just naturally starts a little bit higher. I think those are like a
Well, they're
hundred
quite big
bucks or
too.
more.
There's a fair amount of like material that goes into them. I don't know the most about
Yeah, I
them,
don't know
but
much about them, but like the general point I'm trying to get across is that for most people that don't know a lot about dolls, I think the average price range could be around 100 to 200.
mm-hmm.
Like if you don't know about the whole BJD side of things. So when you do discover it, like you did and like I did, that $500 to $600 price tag is like oof.
It
And
is.
then
Yeah.
some dolls are even 1,000, at the release. So that's a huge, like a huge jumping point for a lot of people.
And from memory, this doll was like 900 New Zealand dollars, which
Hmm.
New Zealand dollar isn't quite as strong as the US dollar, but like it was compared to what I had seen converted online and with shipping to do like in conjunction with that, it was just yeah. But I don't know how to say your name. Lummy in chat said that layaway helps, and that's what I did. I reached
Mm.
out to the seller and I was like, hey, like, is there a chance that I could do a layaway? And they were very kind and they let me do that, and I went hard out. I actually found it the other day. I should have like had it ready, but I drew like a little graph thing where
Hmm.
like all the squares was all the money I needed, and I consolidated my hobbies.
Uh-huh.
That's where that A-Zone doll went. That's where my Bratzillas went.
Hmm.
I sold a lot of the figures I had,
Right.
and I just kind of colored in this chart. And so I'm a visual person. I honestly, I sound obsessive, but I mean, I had been like like admiring these dolls for a very, very long time.
Mhm.
So now one was within reach, and I was very much obsessed. Like I think I had pictures printed, and I had them like on the wall around the house.
Oh.
This is what I'm doing.
I
And I
did something
managed to,
similar to
yeah.
that too. Like when I got my first doll, I wanted to get my Cheryl Gnome doll, which was I was very lucky. It's one of my favorite characters, and it was up for pre-order. So I
Mhm.
pre-ordered her, right? But it was one of those things where you pre-order and you have to wait a whole year. So within it was funny within that time frame of a year, I was getting really antsy. Like I really wanted a doll, so I ended up buying another doll that was like immediately available. And like I remember like while I was waiting for that doll to come in, like I was printing out all these pictures, and
Because you're so excited.
I was like, this is what they're gonna look like together, and I would have like two pictures of the two different dolls.
I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
I was like, this is the
Yeah.
goal. This is the goal. And the way I did it, because you know, you were talking about making graphs, trying to save money. The way I did it saving
Yeah.
money was every morning on my way to work, I would always stop at the local coffee place, and I would get me a large cup of coffee, right? Which used to be
Mhm.
like, I think it was like $1.99 at the time, $1.99 at the time, and then I would get like a bagel, you know, with cream cheese or butter, whatever I was feeling that day. But overall, it would cost me $5 like every morning, and
Mhm.
I just stopped that. So what I did was I took that $5 I would have spent on coffee and a bagel every morning, and I put that in the doll fund. So
Nice.
that's how I kind of saved up for my very first two dolls.
Mhm.
So it was like, if you think about it, you spend $5 a day, right? 5 days a week, that's already
It
$25.
adds up.
And
Adds up
then
way too
after like
fast.
a whole month, you're at $100. So after like, you know, after 5 months or 6 months that's of not buying a coffee and a bagel, I had enough for a doll. And then after a year, I had enough for two dolls by just not
Hey.
doing that. And it's crazy when I think about it now, like how much money I spent in one whole year just to get a coffee and a bagel every morning to work. Like it was like
Mhm.
$1,200 in one year. That's like $2 right there.
It puts it in perspective. I've tried to cut down my caffeine recently for like similar reasons
Mm-hmm.
because I don't do coffee, but I'll buy an energy drink.
Mm-hmm. And
And
those
it's
energy
hard.
drinks are expensive too.
They are. It's ridiculous, especially when you're getting them from a dairy as opposed to a supermarket because you're
Mm-hmm.
lazy.
Right. Because it's just easier.
Sylvie's like, oh no, the classic, just stop buying coffee and you'll be able to buy a house. I mean, maybe not a house, but you
Yeah,
could buy a
maybe,
doll,
but a
Sylvie.
doll maybe. Yeah, a house that would take a couple more years.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I
that's
saw that
basically how
Joe
I
was
got
in
into
here
it.
too. Joe's here. I saw people saying hi to Joe.
Oh,
So
well, I always, you know what? I always have a bad habit because when I'm talking with guests, I don't get to concentrate on chat as much. And I feel so bad because everybody's like popping off in chat. They're all like, hey, welcome, what's going on?
chat's awesome.
Chat is awesome. Magical Girl says Lavely, Diana, and myself were channels that they watched. Aw, thank you. And there were so many channels now. That's true.
There are so many. A
There
lot of the
are so
people I watched
many.
back in the day no longer upload.
Really?
Actually, most of them don't. I
Ah.
think, well, I mean, you do, but you can attest to like a lot of the people who, I mean, there are a lot of new channels, but a lot of the ones that I got started
hmm
on no longer. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
most
of
of
them
the
have gone to
channels that
hobby
I
channels.
started on are now gone. Archangeli was one I used to watch, and she's pretty much gone. But every now and then, when she buys a new doll, she'll post a new video.
Right,
Then I
yeah.
used to watch Denali Wins, but
Denali Wins one of the ones I
she
watched too.
was,
Yeah,
see, there you go. Denali Wind
yeah.
was one of them. I used to watch her stuff a lot, and then she just kind of
hmm
like vanished.
She
Um,
vanished because, and she removed all of her old videos too.
did
She sold a
she?
lot of her dolls.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I way back when I first started because I was trying to get my foot in the door. It's like, hi,
hmm
I'm new channel. I want to I've been admiring you all for a while and now I'm here. I did a thing where I was like, I had a series where it's like, I draw your BJD, where it's like, I'm gonna draw your dog and notice me.
Oh, that's cool though.
But I drew Denali's crew and like they're
hmm
just so like, yeah, she had a way of styling her dolls that I just
That's a skill that I'm very jealous
aspire
of.
to.
There's a lot of skills that I wish I had. Drawing is one of them. So envious of people that can draw pretty well. But yeah,
Didn't know that.
Denali's gone, and then there was this one channel I used to watch called RJ Dolls, where they didn't really talk about anything, but they would do unboxings to music,
Mm.
and they were kind of like the precursor. They're one of the ones that got me into like starting my own channel because I was like, oh, I don't have to be on video because all their videos was just the
Yeah.
doll and just their hands unboxing to music. So that was like my
Mm.
first video where I was just unboxing the music. I didn't have my face on there or anything. And RJ
You
Dolls
gotta
had
start
like,
somewhere, yeah.
yeah, and RJ Dolls had like a lot of that, like just unboxing stuff, and they don't post anymore. But I think when I
I met a lot of people.
started, it was just me, and I think there's another gentleman called Kodama Anime.
That's the one. I forgot his name.
Like we were streaming, well, not streaming, we were posting videos a lot, and he's a really cool guy. Like I actually was very lucky to meet him one time when he came to New York City. But I remember like he would post a video, and then I would post a video, and then he would post a video, and then I would post a video, and we kept going back and forth on this hop along thing. It was
Mm-hmm.
pretty funny, and I remember I got mistaken for him once. Somebody stopped me at a convention one time, and they were like, "Oh my god, it's Kodama," and I was like, actually no."
Close, but no.
Close, but not me. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's but if you look at it now as compared to then, so many doll YouTubers. I mean, we have some of them in our chat right now.
I
I
was just
mean,
gonna say some awesome
we have
person in
Magical
chat.
Girl Kit Kat, we have My Lady Disdain that we're all that
Mm-hmm.
are in chat currently that have their own respective YouTube channels and do very very good um videos. Especially like, with My Lady Disdain doing live videos every Monday, giving everybody the news of what's going on in Smart Doll Land, and Kat's always doing videos about like customization and dolls and different accessories and stuff. So, and we got Tempest in chat. Hello, Tempest.
Hi, Tempest.
Tempest has her own podcast where she talks about dolls. So we have some content creators here in chat with us. But the doll hobby has grown so huge, like
Mm,
so many
really
people.
has.
And because we're on the topic, you yourself are also a YouTuber that have doll videos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about when I had you on this show is did you take that jump from being a collector and from being an admirer for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally biting the bullet to become a collector, and then jumping into YouTube? How did that transition happen for you?
Yeah, so they really were alongside each other. One of the things I both regret and am glad about is that I don't have footage of me opening that first doll. Because
Ah.
I got her and then I started filming like a month or two after that. Um, in the same year. So
Mm-hmm.
um you'll never see that like initial. I was just scared to touch her. I just stood and just looked and and just like very gingerly, because when you're new and you don't know what you're doing and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, what is this expensive thing that I now have that I've only admired on the screen for so long.
Mm-hmm.
um but I uh, because I'd admired the hobby for so long via YouTube and watching these creators and seeing what they were doing, I always kind of thought, oh, it'd be cool to do that. They're sharing that side of their hobby. Doesn't seem too hard, right? um, and I like giving myself projects. I give myself far too much to do. Just ask anyone. I kind of go too hard on a lot of stuff. I whole ass as opposed to half ass is usually what I say. But yeah, so I just kind of it was quite natural. Sam had an old so my husband Sam had a old camera. Well, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really old, but I was able to use his camera to just kind of rest it on a bookshelf and film my first video, and it was kind of just go from there. I very much enjoyed the challenge and like the project of like filming and editing and kind of exploring that creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to contribute to like what had been sustaining my love for these dolls so long, It's
Right.
like these content creators who have been creating the stuff that I've lapped up. I want to be like that. I want to be able
Mm-hmm.
to do that too. And maybe do something like what they've done for me. And also, yeah, just
So
fun.
when you did start your YouTube channel, because when you talked about earlier about getting into the hobby, so your first couple videos, they must have been about resin dolls then, right? Before you even
They
got to the
were.
smart doll stuff.
Yeah, it was a while before. I could pull it up. Yeah, my first video was just a hi. I have this one doll here. This is me. I'm not gonna get any more though. I'm good.
Oh my
As
gosh,
you
we all
do.
say that too. We
Yeah.
all say
And
that.
yep.
It's like, this is
Um,
my only doll. It's so expensive. This is gonna be my one treasure forever.
and then they multiply. They just
Yeah.
like they have a way of it. It doesn't make sense, but somehow once you get over that hurdle of the first, the rest just it just happens somehow. And those
Yep.
people who manage to just stick to one, they are stronger than I. Um, but yeah, so my first video was I was just introducing myself, and I think I was following some tag videos. That's what I was doing initially.
Mm-hmm.
If I bought clothes, I would share what I'd bought. A lot of it, I, my goal was never to go out of my way to do things specifically for videos. It was like, I'm just going to share what I'm doing anyway. That was
Mm-hmm.
kind of the thought. Um, it didn't, it kind of changed as it went along, whether I kind of wanted it to or not. Cat saying no more dolls, nope, no more. Ha, sorry. Not to laugh, but yep, sorry, Cat. You're strong. I believe in you. You can do this. Yeah. um but yeah, so I was resin dolls. I was doing tags from oh gosh, was it? There was like the now my mind's gone blank. There's a bunch of tags that Asenva BJD kind of founded. If anyone in the doll space on YouTube, probably, especially in resin space, would know Asenva.
Mm.
She's like an OG. She founded the I'm blanking on the name of it, but the Facebook page, which is like the biggest resin Facebook page thing. BJD Addicts is what it's called. So there were
Okay.
like BJD Addicts tags and prompts as well that would a lot of people, that's what people did, just with a random camera, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Very low production value, very easy. Of course, I wanted to try and like do things a little bit better, with varying success. But yeah, between that and showing off clothes and things I'd bought, and that was my channel initially. Yeah.
And I remember, I don't remember like the exact time it was that I discovered your channel, but I remember seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you
Mm-hmm.
posted your very first smart doll video when you were unboxing B. I
Yes.
think I
4 years
found
ago,
you.
I've got it here now.
I think I found you on a smart doll Facebook page, right? Did you post it on a smart doll Facebook group?
I might have.
Either that or you were
I'm
recommended in my YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. That video, I mean, I was getting, the odd kind of view. There were a couple of like regulars and things who would comment, but
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of hanging out. And then I posted the Meet Bee, it was November 4th, 2018 is what it says here. And yeah, it's it got far more views than my other ones had. And yeah, things kind of just it was good.
It
It was
just
cool.
took off from there, right?
Yeah, and also as far as like my collection goes, it is interesting. We can talk to it more. It's a probably a bit big of a tangent for now, but the whole resin, I know, versus like vinyl kind of thing, because it did change the direction of my collecting a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people did find me from that, and it did interesting things to my channel, because a lot of people were there for the smart doll content, but obviously prior to that I'd only had resin dolls and was only sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would share my other dolls, those people wouldn't be interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm just going to do what I want to do still. But it was interesting.
Right,
And
right.
then at the time as well, I feel like I'm removed from it these days, but it's um on the other hand, my old regulars weren't as interested in the smart doll stuff, so it was a bit of a
It was a bit of difference
struggle.
because there's
Yeah.
there's a little bit of how do I say this? Like there was a little bit of
No,
like,
I
I
know what
guess,
you
a
mean.
segregation sort of,
Mm,
between the vinyl collectors and the resin collectors.
which is stupid.
At least in the very beginning, from what I can remember, like at the early days, the early onset of vinyl dolls, um, back even before Smart Doll was a thing, when it was only like A Zone and Dolphy Dream that was just having vinyl dolls. And then there was like a huge divide between resin collectors and vinyl collectors. And I don't know
Hmm.
exactly when it happened, but at some point, and I don't want to say it's because of Smart Doll, but it did kind of happen around that time.
Yeah.
But at some point, around the Smart Doll era is when I think the two groups started to mesh a little bit more.
Yeah, more and more. Hmm.
Like people that liked vinyl and that went from Dolphy Dream to Smart Doll also started discovering resin dolls. And then the people that liked resin dolls started to take more of a look at vinyl, I feel like, with when Smart Doll hit the picture. Because
Mm.
and I don't know like the real reason why, but I just feel like in that time frame that's kind of like what happened. So now we have like
Yeah.
this doll community now that's a little bit like of everybody, like collecting, you know, a lot of collectors have a little bit of something like your collection. You said you have resin, you have vinyl, you even have, other doll companies, such as like, well, you had the Brats, but you said you sold them.
Yeah, I've
But
still
things
got a
like,
couple of my original, my old ones from when I was little. But yeah, I sold a lot of them.
right, but
Hmm.
you had like multiple different types. I feel, and I feel a lot of collectors nowadays are having a little bit of everything.
As
If it's
Sandy
like,
said too, American Girl peeps are pursuing Smart Doll a lot now too. Yeah,
mm,
they're more accessible. They're becoming more and more mainstream, and it's
mm-hmm.
just really cool to see. Also, hi, Joe Louisa. Hi, sorry.
Hello, Jay Louisa. See, I told you, I'm bad at this like chat thing.
I I I get shit if I miss chat.
You said
Loving
John says, is it
it.
also an anime thing, or are there anime resin dolls? There was a few anime resin dolls. One that comes to
Mm.
the top of my mind was Belle Dandy from Oh My Goddess was a resin doll. I know that Tempest Strife is in chat, and Tempest knows way more about resin than I do, but I think it was Belle Dandy, and I want to say there was a Chi from Chobits as a resin,
Yeah,
but
I guess
I'm
as far
not.
as licensed things go, I
Yeah,
know
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not the most knowledgeable, I'll admit, but I there are definitely companies that have anime style dolls, even though they're not licensed to
Mm-hmm.
be specific characters. They're
Mm-hmm.
definitely anime-esque.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And I know that even nowadays, like for like newer dolls, I think, well, it's not that new. I think there was one in 2019. They did a resin Levi doll from Attack on Titan that
Ooh.
came out. Oh, Tempest says Blackjack was another one, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there were some, John, that were anime resins, but there weren't that many of them. There was just a few. Most of the anime dolls that were coming out were mostly coming out on the vinyl side. Um,
Yeah, and the popular way of painting or doing face-ups on resin was, I guess, more realistic-ish. I mean,
yeah, like
as opposed to the
I don't want to say like a porcelain doll, but it kind of has that kind of vibe of like the old school porcelain dolls where they look a little bit more realistic in their makeup and their facial structure and
they
stuff.
have like 3D eyelashes for
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
and
they
most
have
anime dolls
they
don't have
actually have
that.
eyelashes that actually come out, and I know a
Hmm.
lot of people in the doll community for vinyl dolls are starting to put those on their
And add
vinyls.
them on.
Yeah,
I
that.
was this close to adding them to B. I had some, and I was like toying with them. Like, do I do it? Because I mean, she was my first vinyl doll,
Hmm.
and all my other dolls had eyelashes, and I'm like, is this weird? I ended up not, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the community is definitely growing, and the things that people are liking is starting to become a lot more varied, I feel, nowadays,
Mm,
and dabbling into a lot of different things. And another thing that you brought up, that you talked about earlier about how you got into the hobby and how things became a lot more accessible nowadays, that is like so true. I feel like that is so true. Like when I first started getting into the hobby, just finding information on where to buy these dolls and like how to get them was just so hard to get. Like
It really was.
you
And a lot
couldn't
of the
just
sites were old and cruddy. And you would go
yeah.
on them and you think, this is a scam. There's no way.
And then I would type in like dolls or anime dolls, and like I would always get like Barbie or like trolls or something like that. Like something like really weird that wasn't what I was looking for that would come up on Google. And like just finding the information on that was just so hard. And that's kind of what led me to start my channel doing the news with 3 Minute Thursdays, was that the information was so scarce back then that if I was already doing the work for myself, like I was looking stuff up for myself, I was like, I might as well share it with other people, because I don't know how many people out there in the world are in the same predicament as me, where they want to get into the hobby and they just had a hard time finding information. And that's kind of like how things started with my channel, evolving from unboxings to kind of doing news to what it is now. And nowadays, buying dolls, I feel like is so much easier.
It definitely is dangerously easy. Also, have a good sleep, Tempest.
Are you gonna go to sleep, Tempest? Oh, have a good night. Catch the VOD later. I'm sure you will. But yeah, I mean, do you find it that way, that like if you were looking for a doll, you find it easier to find or even to buy?
I mean, I've not had intentions or plans of buying dolls lately,
Mm-hmm.
but it's happened.
But it's happened.
So mainly because I check like Trade Me, which is, it's just, you know, New Zealand secondhand site, and Facebook pages and things.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something I'm interested in, I'm able to. I've also been very fortunate to be like, a couple of people have like given me dolls, which is
Oh,
very nice.
that is
I'm
so
very
nice.
grateful for that. And yeah, so they are definitely more accessible though, on the secondhand market or otherwise. Um, I yeah, I mean, the fact that I've gotten as many as I have in the past couple of years without intending to, because literally because they've just kind of fallen
Mm-hmm.
into my perception.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And might I say, what a lovely collection you have behind you. I know that chat can't really see
no.
all of it because I had to minimize the screen, but there's like a bunch of them behind you. I wish I could have the same setup. Like right
Well,
behind
my
me.
Smarties are kind of over there. You can see my mini me,
Mm-hmm.
Lovely there, and then like
And then
a
there's
couple
more
of
off to the
others.
side, which we can't really see. Well, I
Yep.
can kind of like, okay, for the time being, so that chat can see this. Let me see if I can open up your screen a little bit
I'm gonna
more.
have B and Ellen kind of closer to grab if need be.
Let me see. I'm gonna look at this. All right,
The
you ready,
Panda
chat?
Medic increased the doll hobby popularity. It really did, Sandy. Yeah, yeah. It
There we
really did
go.
wonders for just hobbies in general. Oh, you can see a stroller
Now you
right
can
over there.
see. Now you can see the rest of the dolls that are there, and I had to open up your picture and get rid of myself a little bit.
Oh yeah, sorry. Bye. It's just me now. My podcast. Bye.
But yeah, you have a lovely setup. I wish I could do that in my office, but I
I
don't.
wasn't always able to. We moved recently.
I don't have the
Yeah.
space. Like right
I'm
behind
actually
me
in a
is
garage.
literally the wall. I can go and I could touch it. Like I don't have a lot of space. So if I were to put a shelf behind me, I don't know if I can move my chair out so I can get out from behind my desk. But I wish I could
Right,
have like
yeah.
a setup like you have, and other doll collectors. I believe John and Sandy have an amazing setup themselves, where you can
Mm-hmm.
see their dolls in their background. Magical Girl also has a very nice setup in her background. I just unfortunately don't have the space. But I am happy to have what little space that I have though. My wife was very generous to give me my own little room, no matter how small it is, to do whatever I want. The rest of the house is hers though, might I add. All decorations, whatever you want to fit, the rest of the house is hers. I get this 2 telephone booth size of a room, and it's something I can call just mine. So
Yeah, Corn saying that I remember that life. I mean, I was fortunate though in that I had another room. So we moved recently to our first home.
Mhm.
I'm actually in the garage, but like we've got it carpeted and got a little curtain thing there over the garage door, and it works out quite nicely. But previously I was in a spot much like you are where I couldn't really move backwards.
Mhm.
Was very, very squished.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did also commandeer some other space, so was lucky in that regard.
Yeah, when I do unboxing videos in this setup that I'm in right now, it's like it is a challenge to get into my chair because I have to get an additional table and put it in front of my desk table so I have a large enough space to do an unboxing and that like
Mm-hmm.
everybody can see. Like if you're familiar with my unboxing videos, I usually show like a table view where you can like,
Mm-hmm.
see everything that I'm opening up. And when I'm in that
Demonstrated by
view,
chat.
it's hard. It's real hard. I'm squished in. I can barely move.
Yeah. Do you also do a weird thing with your tripod? So like I currently it's pushed up against the wall, so but like
Hmm.
I used to so you extend it really far and have the other the back leg that would be sticking out. Like I'd have the whole tripod on an angle and
Hmm.
like smush it between stuff so that it would stay in the angle I needed to get the top down.
No, what I would do on my unboxing videos is I would just film like I am now, where you can just see me. And if I was,
Hmm.
holding like the box or the doll, it would kind of look like this. And then when I want to do a table view, I literally have to change the camera, turn off the one that's on here, put a tripod right in front of me and face it down, and then do the
Right.
unboxing part. And then when I want to go back on camera, I would have to turn that camera off, move it off to the side, and then turn this camera on. So it's like a whole chore because I just don't have the space to do it. If I put the tripod in front of me, then it would just kind of block my face and it just wouldn't look right anyways. So I
And
have to
people
keep
wonder,
switching things back and forth.
yeah, people wonder why we can't be bothered filming things sometimes, or why we have stuff that just, I've got literally some things there sitting to be opened because I want to film them, but the setup required is a barrier.
Hmm.
Can't be bothered. But
Yeah.
also want to open my stuff.
Yeah, I have so many things that need to get unboxed for clothing and accessory wise that have been waiting months to years that I haven't unboxed yet. And on my channel I had a video where I posted it. It was like she waited 3 years to be unboxed, which was my smart doll moment in tea.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I bought her 3 years ago, and she literally sat in the box for 3 years and never unboxed her
Mm-hmm.
because not only was I doing so many things in my life, but like it's like you said, like changing to unboxing videos and setting everything up was such a chore to get it to that
Mm.
point. So like every time I look at it, I'm like, I need to do this unboxing video. But I don't feel like setting it up right now because it takes so long.
And the mental energy it takes too, and emotional energy. Like, if you're going through some like busy times or stressful times,
Hmm.
it's hard to kind of, you don't want to force yourself to feel like, I, I don't want to seem disappointed because I'm excited, but then it's like, am I happy enough right now to do this? Have I slept enough? Have I got enough energy? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Me
mean,
and Jason
for your videos, when do you normally film them?
when um
Like, do you film them during the daytime or at night?
it varied. So
Oh, it kind of
I guess
varies.
like if we talk to go into like the schedule kind of situation for videos. So I when I was uploading weekly, um the thought was that, I filmed during the week, weeknights,
Hmm.
kind of thing. But then my lighting situation wasn't great. The old place, the room where I would film, had no windows on the sides. It only had a skylight, and it
Hmm.
was very harsh. So, and that's why I couldn't really leave things in that room without them being covered,
Hmm.
because it like,
Oh yeah,
we
because
know
of the direct
UV's
sunlight.
not
Yeah.
UV's not great for plastic things. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I put like a cover, makeshift cover thing over it that
Hmm.
still let light through. But then if light was changing, it would be very obvious. And the way I'd edit with like, it's kind of jump cutty,
Hmm.
it flickers. So it ended up being better to film at night, but then things never looked as good because my lighting wasn't very good.
Hmm. Right.
But it was hard to keep up with. A lot of the time, what ended up happening was I would film on a Saturday and edit. I'd film, edit, and then upload for a release on what is it called? Like a scheduled upload or whatever on
Hmm.
Sunday morning.
Hmm.
So it would be a Saturday,
Mm.
whenever in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I know I've talked about this on my channel a lot, but I just in case I don't know if you know this, but I do a lot
Oh,
of
it's
my
like when?
filming.
Yes.
I do a lot of my filming at late at night because I gotta
Mm.
wait till like I go to work, and then when I come home, I spend time with the wife and the kids, and then the kids go to sleep, like around like 9 p.m. and the missus go to sleep around 10, and then at that point, that's when I have time to myself. Like normally I would, before I got into the hobby, I would sleep or I'd binge watch some TV shows or something. But now
Yeah.
I spend most of my nights doing research, for my next video, or planning for my next video, or actually filming the video. So most of my lighting is at night. So I
So
have
I
to.
keep on getting distracted and laughing at chat. John's just like, I've locked out all the windows in the studio. Sunlight can go to hell. I mean, it's inconsistent, right? So
John, I
I
do the
feel you.
same thing, John. I have a window in this office right behind the camera, and I bought a what do you call it? A foam board. I covered up the whole window with foam board because I didn't want to be that creepy guy in my neighborhood that has like newspapers taped to the window, so it looks like
It's
some.
literally us upstairs because we've not got blinds yet. Anyway, it's fine.
I I would I would have news. I didn't want to be the guy with the newspapers all taped up in the thing on the window because then it looks like a serial killer's house. So like, I actually put up a foam board, and then I bought one of those what do they call those? The sun blocking like curtains, and I put that in
Mhm.
front of that so that no zero sunlight gets into this room. So the only lighting that I use is the lighting that I would do for my camera. So this way it's consistent lighting all the time and it doesn't change on me. But I'm always filming at night, so like, you know,
And doing your research at night and
I'm
doing
always
all of
I'm
it.
always sleepy too. Like I'm doing my research and I'm like falling asleep. Sometimes you'll see me falling asleep on my Doll Symposium video because it's like 3 in the morning when I'm filming.
I just can't say I've noticed you falling asleep. Cat's calling us a bunch of vampires. I mean, fair.
Listen. I feel like I've become one. From doing YouTube a lot. I mean, I could try to do it during the day, but if I film during the day, you're probably gonna hear the kids in the background yelling different kinds of things.
And that's the thing, you get noise. So, like, with the skylight thing,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, I wasn't going to black that out because I needed that light otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But there were helicopters that would often go ahead, overhead.
Mm.
We were middle of the city, so there'd be lots of sirens. I'd often have to just sit there and wait for a motorbike to go past. I mean, I still kind of get that some time to time, but the amount of interruptions, like, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand why you'd film at night.
I
Especially if you have good lighting and control it. Yeah.
don't know if I'd say I have good lighting, but I have some kind of lighting. If you look at my older videos, my very first videos, it was very dark because I would
Mm-hmm.
turn off all the lights and then I would just have one giant light in my face. So
Mm-hmm.
like everything around me was dark, but my face was like super bright. And then like I kind of like ditched that, and now I just have it kind of like bright all around. But it's still,
Mm-hmm.
the diffusing of the light is still not that good because I still look a little too bright, more bright than I want to be. But that's something to settle and figure out on another day.
Yeah, I think Kat and John are about to fight. Something's going down.
Oh my goodness. What
Kat's
is
gonna be there on a private jet. Damn, serious business going on here.
Corn Curls agrees that sunlight is the worst. See? I'm not the only one. Sunlight is
Yeah.
bad. Oh, Batman Jackson joined the stream. Hey, Batman, sorry. I also have my windows blocked out, but it's because I'm Batman.
Hey. Oh, I'm Batman. I
Aren't you
don't know if
supposed
we
to
have
be in
to
a
make my
cave
voice go
though?
deep to do that.
There's no sunlight in a cave. Come on now. What's with, I missed the whole chat thing. What's with Kat saying she has a private jet? What is going on here?
Also, Kat was calling us vampires, yeah, and I think John is unsure about this accusation.
Listen, Kat, if I'm gonna be a vampire, I definitely don't want to be the sparkly kind from Seattle. Okay, I want to be like I want to be a vampire from London. Can I join those vampires? I want to be like them.
Wonder Woman's invisible jet? Cat? Damn. Where are you getting access to this stuff?
My thing with the invisible jet is how do you know it's there? So like if you're not in the jet,
Mm.
but you want to get into the jet, how do you find the steps to climb up into the jet or even know if the canopy to get in the jet is open or closed if the whole thing's invisible? Would you just run into it?
You would just run into it, surely. Do you have to be invisible to ride the invisible jet?
But then if it's it just doesn't make any sense. And then if you once you get in the jet and you're flying, it just looks like you're just sitting on nothing, just like in the sky.
Yeah. Was that not a SpongeBob episode at one point? I don't know.
I think it may have been.
You walk very carefully, Cat. All right, fair. Cat would be a sparkle vampire. Nice.
Why do I feel like I should have expected that one? I feel like I don't like the sparkles.
They're
No.
distracting.
Okay.
But very pretty. I would just never get anything done. I would spend my whole time just being like this. It's like
Oh
when
my
you get sparkly
gosh.
nails, you're just looking at them the whole time.
Okay.
Tangent alert. I told
Tangent
you, John,
alert.
I told you.
It is a tangent
Fine.
alert. Okay. Clickers like a no, not the clickers. Clickers are scary.
Last of Us? No, that ugh.
I don't want to be a
That's
clicker.
tangent we can skip.
I don't want to be a clicker. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Not
Nope.
your fault, John. Nah, I reckon we could pin this on you somehow. Surely.
Okay, wait. Going back to the topic at hand, we were talking about YouTube. So we talked about like you creating a YouTube channel and some of your earlier videos. And we kind of sort of delved into it already, just talking about frequency, how you did your videos like every now
Yeah.
every week, or you filmed on Saturdays. When did it come to the point where you were like, okay, I've done the videos and I've gotten some attention from it or whatever, and my channel's been growing more than I expected it to. How did you then decide that you wanted to also get into the gaming world? Because for individuals that may or may not know, you are also a gaming streamer, or I don't know. I guess nowadays we just call them streamers.
Yeah.
Had you decide that I guess I will still do doll stuff, but I also want to divide my attention and get into gaming?
Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of there was a time where I tried to do both. I was like the doll YouTube thing. I was always interested in this, right? Wanted to do that, thought it was cool. Wanted to do the best I could at it because whole ass, not half ass. The best thing to do, which I mean, I guess still technically is true, but upload weekly at the least. That's what they all say, and I mean that's what I was trying to do. To the detriment of my well-being in some cases. There were a lot of Saturday nights where I was up very late. I've done all of my editing to date on my old MacBook that can and will die at any moment, and has like had lapses of existence mid editing sometimes.
Oh no.
So like and then you start to spiral. As I kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, what can I do for a video? And it's like, what could be an easy video? Oh, I'll buy this because I could do a video. Do I really want this? Do I really need this? It's cool. But like, I was like, this could be a video. This could be a video. Trying to like do things like that. And I just, it made me kind of question why I was doing this in the first place. Because I'm very stubborn. But also if I set myself expectations, I will stick to them, sort of thing. So I'd said I was going to upload once a week, and I can do that, so I will do that, sort of thing. I didn't want to let myself down. And then also you've got the other end of it where you don't want to let other people down for, but yeah, I kind of started streaming on Twitch. Animal Crossing New Horizons came out. Corn, I know I'm very stubborn. Corn remembers me staying up late and editing and filming. Yeah. I admired people streaming. I thought this was cool. I could do that. Surely that's fun. Animal Crossing New Horizons was coming out. I had looked into doing it before. I had a 3DS, but in order to stream from that or to do YouTube videos, because that was what I was thinking originally, you needed to get like a modded thing, and I'm like, that's just impossible. Like, no way.
I always wondered how people did that.
Yeah, it's some people out there know how to do it. They add different hardware to it. I
Mhm.
don't really know, but you have to send your device away and then they have to send it back, and none of it seems very trustworthy necessarily.
Oh
But
yeah,
people do it.
that sounds kind of scary.
Yeah, and when it's going international, I'm just like, no. And then I have to be without game. So Sam remembers it too. Light's Demise is my husband Sam, by the way. He's in there saying he remembers the late nights editing.
Welcome,
But
Sam.
yeah, it was 2020. Was it 2020? When did I always forget my first day starting streaming, and I Google when did Animal Crossing New Horizons come out, because that was my first stream day. And it was fun. Unlike YouTube, where you put in so much effort having to, you think about your video, you film your video, you got to like get things set up to film your video, then you edit your video, then you got to do, thumbnails, descriptions,
Right.
all these little things, right? That like on their own aren't necessarily much, but when you're doing them on your own, it piles up.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And if you're someone who's a perfectionist and kind of just and you're doing this really late at night, which sounds like you can relate to, it just adds up. And Twitch was refreshing in that, and I mean it comes with its pros and cons, but you sit there, you film, you do your thing, and then you're done, and then your stream's there. You don't have to edit it. I mean, you can if you want to. I have intended to do things with VODs, and I have not. Probably won't. But yeah, you can do work for it that just, like as far as stream assets and otherwise, if you do that work for it, you always kind of have it. You can build things on it. You can take it away. Things can carry over or otherwise. I just really enjoyed it, and I don't know what changed. It was I feel like it was around like Christmas, New Year's. It would have been. It was. It was leading up to when I would do the end of the year BJD tag, which is the tag I told myself I'd always do, and I still haven't done it for last year, and I'm still feeling kind of bad about it, and I still should probably do it at some point, but that's also a barrier to me unboxing my stuff, because I'm like, I can't, because people don't know I've moved, and it's a whole thing. But I was leading up to that, and it's when you reflect on your year. I really like doing that video because it's like, show your collection at the end of the year, how many videos did you make, that kind of thing. But then more than that, it's how did the year go? It's just a chance, an excuse to reflect. And before filming it, I always try and think of, so I kind of know what to say. And I was like, actually, I've achieved a lot. I'm really happy with what I've got and what I've done. That's not going to go anywhere. The cool thing about, I mean, unless, I don't know, YouTube implodes, I don't know, at some points it kind of, I better not jinx it because it's done some things in past, but I was like, if I was to stop now, I'm still very proud of what I've done. I don't think I stand too much to gain myself from, like, it felt like I was, and I don't like this saying or whatever, but like, beating a dead horse. It's like why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I'm doing it, it's like, I told myself I'd upload weekly. I'm running out of things that I'm still very much in the hobby. I'm collecting things, I'm interested in it, but it's feeling more superficial as far as my videos are concerned. And I don't like that. I'm like, well, why? I've my videos aren't going to go away. I'm still wanting to create and do things. I've still got plenty to do. So why not just kind of pivot? And that end of the year tag, I literally just sat there, and the tone was people probably were like, what's going on with Lavely? But I was like, my goal for next year, because you put goals in there, is my goal is to film less. I was very blunt about it, and I'm like, yep, that's it. And I mean, I achieved that goal. I still very much like, I've got a collection of things to edit at some point. I've got things that I still want to share with people because, I created my channel, and the whole point of it was to just share what I'm doing anyway, right? And because I do, as much as it became a chore towards like the end of it all. I say the end as if it's ended. It's not ended, but like my weekly uploads kind of burnt me out, right? It was just Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot when you're like, oh, I'll just do one video a week, but it does. It adds up.
It
It
does.
adds up to the point where you're like, oh my god, I gotta do another video. And then you're just kind of, because I remember I was like that like around 2020, twenty
Mm-hmm.
nineteen when I just gave up and I took my break because I was just burnt out.
You just
Um,
need to sometimes.
yeah, and like you think that one video is okay. It doesn't take that long, but it really does. It takes up a lot of your time to like film,
Mm-hmm.
research, edit, make the thumbnails. Like you said earlier, like there's just a lot of work that goes into it. And
Yeah, and you don't realize unless you've done it or lived
yeah.
with someone who's done it and seen the impacts. Like, not to yeah, it's it's a thing that like should be talked about because yeah, the like mental health and like social media and things.
Mhm.
YouTube and Twitch are quite different, but as far as the impacts they have, I can talk more to Twitch later. But yeah, the burnout it's real.
Right.
Yeah, Joe, yeah.
And every chance I get with all my guests or even just my regular videos, I always mention the burnout and like, people gotta, take time out for themselves. Don't
Mm.
be chasing, I don't know, chasing the numbers or chasing what do they call that? The serotonin that you get from when you like have a lot of videos and hits and all that kind of
Mm.
stuff, because it takes a toll on you. And everybody's personal life is different, whether you're married with kids or you're single or you have a stressful job or whatever. you know there's a lot of things that can add up, and just so from an outsider, if you're like, oh well, they said they were only going to do one video every week, it there's a lot that adds on to that other than just that
There
one
is.
video.
And as Sandy said, the whole everything is content mentality is not healthy. Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I can't talk. I'm still kind of in that. The fact that I've got parcels sitting here that I've not opened because I'm like, I could film that. I might as well film that, yeah. And I mean, you say I've always said I'm not worried about the numbers, and I like to think I'm not, but um YouTube throws them at you. It's hard to avoid them.
Mhm.
And I mean, with Twitch, there are ways to turn things off, which I've done,
Mhm.
which I recommend. But like, yeah, numbers go burricorn exactly. And I mean, I for a while there, I was like, I'm replying to every comment,
Mhm.
and then it's like I felt guilty because I hadn't for a bit because I'm busy. And then I mean, I'm bad enough replying to people I know sometimes. Square, so true, bestie. Hi, Square. Square knows. Yeah, it's hard to not notice and perceive the numbers.
Mhm.
And part of like my choice to kind of distance from YouTube was because my attention to I don't want to say the numbers, but yeah, I guess the numbers, it moved to Twitch.
Mhm.
I was worried about that, and so I just kind of stopped looking at analytics on YouTube altogether.
Mhm.
Not that I ever really looked at them too much, but like I perceived them. And
Mhm.
I mean, you go into your video, not editor, like the
The
creator studio,
creator dashboard or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and it literally shows you how successful recent videos are,
Mhm.
and it just like shoves that right in your face. And
Yeah.
so like, even if you're not going in there to look at that, it just yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Numbers
everywhere.
do mean something. Exactly, Sandy. Yeah, like we do want an audience. We're not doing this for no
Right.
reason.
Yeah,
But that is a part of
we
it.
definitely still want an audience, because I mean, let's say for the sake of example, you keep uploading on a weekly basis and you constantly see
Mm.
zeros on there,
Oh, your mental health's gonna take a
yeah,
dive.
your
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
health's going to take a dive, but then also at the same time, then who are you doing the videos for? Like a lot of people say for
Yeah.
yourself, I just do it because I like it and it's for myself, but at the same time it's like you're putting all this time and effort into something and nobody's really watching it. So it's like then
Mm-hmm.
you got to make a decision, like, well, do I want to continue doing this? Is this just wasted time? Who knows? So you do think about the numbers, because like you said, you want an audience, but it's not like you want to it's not like you want to chase it. You just want to have someone to talk to, really.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, like, as I said at the very start, I mean, what got me into collecting dolls was watching other people create content and kind of like having that small bit of interaction with them, like
Mhm.
a insight into, their hobby, I
Mhm.
guess. And I wanted to kind of be able to flip that. But yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, got to do it for yourself. Sam says it's true. I mean, I go on and on about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Yeah, you
Hmm.
got to have a balance of it.
Right.
And I mean, you'd hope that it's weighted towards intrinsic,
Hmm.
because otherwise you're just gonna,
Well, speaking
yeah.
on that note about streaming and everything, and talking about like numbers or whatever, but kind of like taking it in another direction. What made you decide when you were streaming? Because you did start making YouTube videos on YouTube. You could have
Mm-hmm.
streamed your gaming on YouTube. So what made you decide, oh, let me just stream on Twitch instead of streaming on YouTube itself?
Mm. Um. Well, you know, there are people out there who have different channels for every type of content or
Hmm.
whatever they make, yeah. So for me, I was like, well, it doesn't, if I'm pivoting to this, people who watch my YouTube content might probably not, they're probably not interested in this other
Hmm.
type of thing, right? I mean, the hope is that over time people come to like be interested in you as a person regardless of what you do. But also, there's unboxings, a lot of my content was that, right? And if
Hmm.
people who are looking to buy things watch those, and that's what they're there for. They're not,
Right, right. No,
yeah.
but
So
meant
I
what I meant was you could have created a second channel on YouTube
I
for
could have.
strictly for gaming and then stream gaming there. So
Mm,
instead of making your doll YouTube channel a YouTube channel for dolls and gaming, you could have made a second
mm,
account and streamed, which is what I did in the beginning. When I started streaming, I made a second YouTube account just for gaming because I didn't I like you, I was like, I don't think people that are watching my channel for dolls really wants to see me game. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
mm.
So like I created a second channel. So I'm just wondering what made you
Why Twitch?
decide to go to Twitch instead of making a second YouTube channel for gaming and then streaming there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just perceived Twitch as the place to stream if you're gaming. That's
Mhm.
just what I just I didn't really second guess it. I figured I didn't know much about streaming at the time. I certainly didn't like the streams I watched were on Twitch, not on YouTube. I don't think it was as common, or at least not in like the channels and whatever I was watching.
Mhm.
So it just made sense to go on Twitch. I already had a Twitch account. I dabbled previously. Even actually like I way back I had like when I was doing the I draw your BJD thing, I
Mhm.
had done a little bit of streaming on that on Twitch, I think it was. Or I tried to stream Sims as well at one point, and it was like a slideshow,
Mhm.
but that's beside the point. But yeah, I didn't even consider streaming on YouTube.
Hmm. The only reason why I
Yeah.
ask really is because, like I said, I started streaming on YouTube. I knew that
Hmm.
Twitch exists because obviously I only started streaming last year, so Twitch is definitely a thing. Um, but the reason why I started streaming actually all my gaming on YouTube on my second channel, mostly
Hmm.
because I was so used to how YouTube worked. So I didn't want to have to
Right.
learn a whole new system. Like Twitch has a
Hmm.
whole different way that they set up their creator dashboard and how you edit things and put things together. And I was just like, I already know how YouTube works, so I'm just gonna stay here on YouTube because I'm just
Fair.
familiar with it. But for me, the reason why I changed to Twitch wasn't because of the fact that most people just associate Twitch with video gaming, I guess. But I was out of curiosity one day. I was asking a friend to try to find me on YouTube while I was streaming,
Hmm.
and it's actually quite difficult, like to find somebody like a particular channel streaming on YouTube. Like he was telling me that he had to like go to YouTube Live, but then it wasn't when you go to YouTube Live and then you search Final Fantasy, it shows you some past VODs.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily show you who's live streaming at that moment. And it was just really
Hmm.
hard to search for who you were looking for unless you specifically typed in that person's username or channel name. So
I mean,
like,
discoverability on Twitch is pretty garbage too,
yeah.
to be honest.
But I
Like,
think the
yeah.
easier thing about Twitch is that you can go on Twitch and search Final Fantasy and then it'll show you a whole bunch of streamers that are already live. on there, and then you can just scroll through the list. Now, obviously, the people that are more famous are at the top of that list, so they're the ones that come up first. But on YouTube, when I just do Final Fantasy Live and I would search there, it would give me a lot of lives that are VODs and
Yeah.
not really lives that are actually going on live at the time. So then when I found out that it wasn't that easy to even search you or discover you, I was like, I'll just go on Twitch because at least they're sectioned off by gaming category and things like that. I mean, I'm still going to be somewhere hidden at the bottom of the list because I'm not famous, but like at least there's a way to search it. I just felt like there wasn't really a good way to search it on YouTube.
Yeah, and I mean, Corn kind of alluded to it or said it. Like YouTube streaming service has only kind of started to become more viewer friendly in like recent years. And yeah, as John said, the same. Twitch has a lot of things just built in already. A lot of things that you can do. I mean, it's got its own bit system, point system. It's got subscriptions. It's got a lot of different things on there. Arguably too much if you're new to it because it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming because I only started streaming last year, and like I said, my biggest fear was having to learn a whole new platform. So like now that I'm streaming on Twitch, it's like just trying to learn like how like the followers work and the subscription works, and trying to figure out how to, like, your stream is very set up very nicely, I have to say, where like you have like the little things falling down that you stole the catches for followers. There's like all the little like chat things that you can do differently. There's pop-ups that you can do, which I'm sure I could probably do pop-ups on YouTube. I just haven't really.
I would have no idea how to do it.
I just didn't really research it or anything. I'm sure John knows because John's a little bit better at streaming on YouTube than I am.
John is very savvy with all.
He is very tech savvy with streaming on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, Twitch is a whole nother animal, I feel like, to learn.
And I mean, like, YouTube is VOD based. It's at its core, it's not lives, right? So it makes sense when you were searching or your friend was searching, that's what they were seeing. And yeah, Square saying the same. It's just, it's not something that had lives intended when it was like created, like, whereas Twitch, it's just purely live. So I mean, it goes both ways. You gotta, I mean, you'll know with Twitch you have to jump through a few hoops to save your VODs, otherwise they disappear in a while. And I had a setting toggled. I didn't do it, but it just switched so that my VODs by default weren't even published. And I had to like find that and turn that back on.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know where that is, to be honest.
I didn't. Corn showed me yesterday.
I stream and then like I just take that stream and I put it up on YouTube as my VODs on my second channel, because it's not that it's super difficult. It's just I haven't had the time to invest to really study it and figure out, how to mess with the thing. All I know is that all my streams save for, I think, 7 days, and then they're gone on my channel. On my Twitch channel, they're just gone. So
right.
I don't know how to do that.
John's saying, oh no, Batman said that John can't go into any VTuber's screen. Shall I switch? Shizusan?
Oh, if you want to. Do you want to show everybody?
Just to scare off John?
Yeah, let's scare off a few people. Do you want to change? You want to change to your VTuber?
It'll be a little bit jank. I'll have to like open it. John only watches Critical Role on Twitch. I should have had this ready to make the transition smooth. It's not going to be smooth.
I'll be honest with you, John. I've heard of Critical Role. I haven't really watched them. I don't know exactly what it is they do. I heard the name though before.
D&D.
Oh, is it D&D? Okay.
Yeah. It's going to take a while for me to open. I might lag a bit when I'm opening YouTube Studio. But yeah, no, there are a lot of things on Twitch that you can do. And I mean, all of the stuff I have, it didn't happen in a day. Like, it's been a long time of building it all up. Oh, now we have my VTuber.
Now you got both of you.
Of the screen. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, this is like only a little bit jank. Please hold. Get out of the way. Sorry, I'll just shuffle her down. I forgot that she would just literally show up. It's one of those things where I should have like 2 cameras ready, but I don't. Yeah, no, this might be too hard. Well, it's not too hard. It'll just be jank. One thing you should know about my content in general, Shizusan, is it's jank. Are you familiar with jank?
So is my channels. My channels are all jank. There's nothing professional about my channels. I just get on and I just do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when I really cared though. Like there was a time where I was just like, oh, everything's got to look good. I got to make it, so nice or else no one's going to watch. Now I'm like, I don't really care. I'm just going to film
Right,
it.
yeah.
I'm just going to post it and that's it. Like because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, how nice your channel looks does help out a lot. But
It does.
it's
I
mostly
mean,
your content though. Cuz you can have
mm,
beautiful video footage and the most immaculate audio and like everything could be good on the technical side, but if your content is just boring, no one's going to watch it anyways.
yeah. Right, let's see if I can figure this out. I'm going to disappear for a moment.
Alrighty.
Apologies. Or I'll just freeze. Okay, there we go. Now you've got beautiful cherry blossoms. You can just stare at the sakura. Lovely. Gorgeous. I've not actually used my VTuber in a while. So like the whole just between this was another project that took me way too long. But I really, really wanted to challenge myself. And once again I saw these things and I'm like, that's cool. I could do that, yeah.
I need to learn
Um
how to do it because I've always wanted to try VTubing. But it's just
yeah.
another thing to learn, which I just don't know if I have time to do.
Okay, can you see me? Maybe?
Yes, we can see you.
Am I really jank? I might be. My lights are not set up and I'm not properly calibrated.
No, we could see you fine, actually.
Hi. Hang on, I'll make myself in the center of the screen. There we go. Yeah. But no, it's fun. The point of this was like if I want to stream one day and I really just can't be bothered being on camera,
Mm-hmm.
this solves it. Bad audio ruins great content. I agree, John. I hope I sound okay now. I'm sorry. Cat's freaking out. Okay, shall I wave to Cat? Hi, Cat.
Oh yeah, can you
Hi.
give her a wave?
Can I do that?
Yeah, there you go.
It is very delayed. Oh my gosh. Don't ask me why it's very delayed. If she's lagging, it's probably because I've got too many things open.
It
But
might
seems
also
to be
be
over
like
now.
the lag between Streamlabs and Zoom interacting with each other too. So I don't know what
Possibly.
people are seeing on their end.
And I'm OBS virtual camming right now, so it's a little jank, but love you, Cat.
Cat is gonna die of cuteness right now.
Cat, don't die. Don't die. Oh, please. Cat, don't die. Don't die. I broke my arm. Yeah, it kind of swings around. It's fine. It's a bit like evil like that, Oh, I forgot I had this.
You got the
setting on,
Shinji Ikari thing. Oh no, the Gendo Ikari eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, this is just fun. It's just pure fun and it's jank and
But I can definitely see the appeal to that. Not only is it like cool because you get to be like an anime looking character, but like you said, if you just don't want to be on camera some days, it's kind of nice having that VTuber model to just be there.
yeah, exactly. And I mean I've not used it at all this year yet. But like it's there if I want to and it's good fun. And I mean I like being able to add stuff to it that are relevant. So when I was playing Final Fantasy, I have my Viera ears on.
Oh, that's so cute.
That are kind of I need to make sure I'm actually centered. I don't know if I'm centered. But yeah. So it's can do lots of things. Too many things. I gave her too many things.
Too many
but anyway,
things.
You all didn't sign up for a VTuber stream, so I'll come back. I won't show you all the things you can do. You'll have to, I don't know.
Maybe
watch
one
my
of these
vlogs.
days, if I have more free time, maybe I'll try and research and figure out how to do VTubing while I stream. Because right now, like, sometimes, see, I think I told you about this before, like, off camera, where sometimes I feel like a VTuber model would be great because Cat is going crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, should I just do more things to Cat? I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm the avatar. Cat, I'm sorry, you had to find out this way. It's just who I am. It's not a phase. I'm also an Avatar fan. I've got things.
Oh my god, you have a whole wardrobe.
Oh yeah. I've got a few different things. I gave her too many things. That one has a booby window. She's like a doll. She's like a doll I can dress up.
Exactly. It's like dressing up a BJD.
Yeah, exactly. We even had a like
Ben.
Your wife is losing it. Yes. Success. What if I told you I could have elf ears that wiggle when I blink? This gets corn. Corn will get distracted by the sorry, boob window. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
While
I
I'm
noticed
showing
like for those for those that are not familiar with VTubing, but I'm pretty sure everybody probably is. There's a VTuber I like watching, which I know a lot of people do anyways, is Iron Mouse. And I love watching her streams because one thing I noticed is when she blinks her eyes, her ear bells they shuffle at the same time. It's like every time she blinks, her ear bells shuffle. So I think it's like the same thing that you're trying to say with your elf ears.
Yeah, it's hard to see them with my hair in the way. My Viera ears do it too. The best thing about the Viera ears, sorry, I've not like got it set up for this kind of thing, is when I blink, they twitch.
Oh yeah.
But if I raise my eyebrows, I've got my fringe in the way. They go up, and if I lower my eyebrows, they go down.
Oh my goodness,
So
that's
they're quite
crazy.
expressive.
That's very expressive. I love it.
It's good fun.
I love it.
But yeah, shall we save Kat from herself? Sorry, Kat. Sorry, Shizusan. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Oh, that's great. But no, I mean, it's good that you're showing your VTuber model because half of the thing that I wanted to talk about today was Twitch and gaming streaming, and that's part of it.
Okay, I should be back. There we go. Sorry, my camera will figure itself out. Right, I'm back.
But yeah, like I was saying before, Cat started dying. I was saying that like when I do like hard content on Final Fantasy 14, like, and I'm like concentrating when the camera's on my face. I didn't realize this till I watched my VODs afterwards, but when I'm really concentrating in gaming, like I start doing this where my jaw starts opening. I'm like, and I'm just like, oh no, and then my eyes get bigger and like, and it just looks silly. So I feel like sometimes maybe if I had a VTuber model, I wouldn't look as stupid in the camera as I do when I'm like rating.
It can be all part of it though. I mean, like that's the thing about Twitch. It's like people like to see your reactions to this or that.
I guess so.
That real time.
That real time facial expression.
Yeah, real time. Yeah,
but you're very good at this. Twitch must really train you on how to do the content that you're doing, but then also pay attention with chat, because that's one of my biggest things is doing what I'm doing either on Beyond the Doll and paying attention to chat and my guests at the same time, or if I'm streaming, doing regular content and paying attention to chat at the same time. Because my thing is my chat window's in my other monitor. Do you do that? Do you have two monitors for yours?
I do have two monitors. I have OBS open on one monitor that's like on its side.
I do the same thing.
But then chat's just like a small part of that. And then I game on the
because my chat is on my monitor to my left. So whenever I see chat, I'm always like looking off to the side. But yeah, like I sometimes miss it.
John wants to know if you can VTube two people on the screen. You can. There is a way.
I think as long as the program can pick it up, like the facial features, I guess, right?
Yeah. As far as I know, you just need two cameras, so you need like a camera for each person. I don't think one camera can pick up two faces at a time. But yeah, there are ways. There are indeed ways. I want to. Corn and I are going to do something at some point, eh? Maybe. We'll see.
When I stream on Twitch, because I don't have a lot of viewers, so it's a lot easier for me to pay attention who's talking. But like today's episode, when you have like all these people, these lovely people in chat, like, and the chat's like going crazy and we're sitting here talking, you have this wonderful ability to be able to see it, like as we're chatting.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm interrupting you sometimes to like linked to
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. Don't be
I
sorry. If anything, you are helping because I always forget to see chat. So, you're the one that's always giving chat credit because we should pay attention because that's the whole point of the stream, so that we can have interaction with our fans or our audience or whatever.
community, yeah.
John strokes
Yeah,
chin. Are you saying that for you, John? Are you saying that because you notice I do this a lot? Like
he's considering the VTube life. I mean, like, I can imagine you could do like a cute VTuber thing of like your little cartoon like selves. Like that would be very cute. It'd be very cute. And you could just be like, one day it just pans to your countdown's done. You finish showing like the smarties from like your Discord and stuff, and it's just like, oh hey, yeah, people would go nuts. It'd be amazing. It's just good fun. Yeah.
I think if I were to create a VTuber model, it would probably have to be an old man, some kind of anime old man. I definitely want something with a really long beard so I could stroke it or something.
That would be cool.
I tried to do it. Apparently, it's really hard. I tried growing out a beard during the pandemic, and I got it really
I thought you
long.
also tried doing the like drawing a person stroking a beard. So you mean becoming someone with a long beard?
Yeah, no, I mean like actually like growing a beard is actually quite tough. I if you watch, I think, where was it? My unboxing video of my Smart Doll Prowess in Tea is on my channel. And if you watch that video, I think that's the longest I got my beard was where somewhere down to here. And I just have no idea how to maintain it, so it looked really scraggly and all over the place.
I guess it's one of those things where it's like you just lean into it. Just lean into the scraggliness.
Well, the whole reason why I was growing it out is because I wanted to like kind of emulate the, like those old kung fu masters with the really long like beards.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do that, but my wife wasn't having any of it. After it got to a certain
no.
length, she got really mad and she was like, "One of these days, you're gonna wake up and there's just gonna be a line missing from your beard." And I was like, "You better not. You know how long it took me to try and grow it this long?" And she was like, "Nope, gonna do it." So eventually I just cut it off. It was just gone. It didn't look that good either, let's be honest. Did not look good.
But yeah, no, it's a thing to consider. It's good fun. And I mean, talking about, the burnout with YouTube, like I decided to like I'll do my makeup for stream, right? That's just a thing that I do. But then obviously it's a barrier to getting ready for stream, and if you're already not feeling particularly energized, it can be something that gets in the way. So the thought of it was like, well, maybe I'll just be the VTuber on that day. And I mean, VTubers out there, as far as I've seen, they're usually not of the person themselves. I wanted to make mine be me, a cartoon version of me, because that way it's not like you're watching a different channel. It's still, yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to change the vibe too much because, once again, some people vibe it, some people don't, and that's fine. Like, people like different types of content, but I wanted it to still feel like me.
Right. Well, there aren't really many VTubers, I want to say, that actually expose their actual face. Isn't that like a thing?
Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, a lot of people are VTubers, and that's what they are. It's funny, actually. I met someone today. So there was a little, like, I guess it was kind of like a gaming convention-ish thing, just like a small one in Wellington City, and someone was like, "Lovely," and I'm like, but they're there's like a VTuber Discord, and there's a few people from Wellington there. Wellington's where I live, right? But because I exposed my face and my avatar looks like me, they knew what I looked like, but I had no idea.
Oh yeah, you had no idea about them. That's right.
No. They're like, "Oh yeah, like tall rainbow hair, hard to miss." I'm like, "Okay, sweet."
Right, and there's like an unwritten rule amongst VTubers, right? Like they can see each other amongst themselves, but never to their audience, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I don't watch a lot of VTubers, I'll be honest, not outside of like people I know, but yeah.
I think there's a whole lore behind it, but I'm not entirely sure.
Definitely. And I mean, oh yeah, VTubers and lore in general, yeah, that's also a huge thing.
Sandy says, our avatar in Little News anchor suits.
That'd be so cute.
That
That's
would
a
be
head
cute.
though.
That would be
And then you
cute.
could like have a button that see all of the things. Give them all of the things and change them to your other outfits. You could get them to hold a doll sometimes.
Although that would kind of get in the way, right? Like if you were streaming in a VTuber model and then you wanted to show a doll on camera, it wouldn't pick up,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I guess it depends how you want to do it. Like I've always wanted to do art streams, but my tablet, up until recently, I've not had a stand for it. It's like a Wacom, I never know how to say it, Cintiq 13 HD, whatever it is. But it would be on the table, so I'd be drawing like this. So if I was on stream, you'd just see the top of my head the whole time. And that wouldn't be the best. There's no point having a cam, but I wanted to stream with a cam. So the workaround is if I have the VTuber, then you can see that, but I don't have to worry about how I'm looking.
Right.
If that makes sense.
But would your
So,
VTuber model look down also?
A little bit. But they're kind of restricted, depending on how you rig it and whatever.
I see.
It often looks like she's got her eyes closed while I'm drawing. When I was doing the concept art for you can't see them anymore. I could go get them. The Ghastly Pokemon collab doll that I did with Diana and Kat. When I was like figuring out how I wanted to do the face up for the video, I recorded it, but I had my VTuber on the side for while I was. And yeah, they don't look down too much. It just looks like they're drawing with their eyes closed.
So let's see. Speaking of streaming, so we kind of covered like a lot of different things regarding streaming, especially
I warned you this would happen.
Especially our VTuber tangent there, which was great because I like to learn a lot more about what it is this VTubing thing, and I know Kat died quite a few times learning about VTubing.
It was worth it just for that.
But kind of getting back to streaming on Twitch, what I know you said you started with Animal Crossing, but it looks like a lot of your content is now Final Fantasy 14 focused, along with a little bit of, I think, Pokemon I saw in there. Is it Pokemon or?
I dabbled with Pokemon Arceus, Arceus, whatever. No further questions. No, I have tried to have it so that at least one of my streams is something different, but I have a lot of sorry, I'm in a garage and I just heard someone's car start up, so if you hear that, that's what that is. I stream my MSQ, so my main scenario quest or story quest or whatever it is for people who aren't familiar with Final Fantasy 14. So it's an online MMO. If I could remember the spell off the top of my head right now, I would give it to you. You know the one, Shizusan, surely. Is my bot active? Hang on. Oh no, I closed my bot. I have a thing that gives me the spell. You know, the copy pasta thing.
Wait.
Final Fantasy MMO, blah blah blah. Free trial.
Oh.
You know the one.
Oh.
Surely you know
yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. If someone posted in chat, I'll do my best rendition. But no, I do that exclusively. It takes up a lot of time, right? It's a long story, and you get invested in it. So naturally, more of my streams became that. But I do try and have at least one other stream a week where it's something else. Currently, it's Kingdom Hearts. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For a long time, Tuesdays were Nintendo games. So it was Animal Crossing, New Horizons for the longest time. I played some Splatoon, some Mario Kart, a lot of like community play with other people kind of games.
Right.
But yeah, these days it's Final Fantasy 14 is the consistent. Oh, hang on. Square's pasted it. Surely you've heard of it. I kind of want to hear you give it a go, Shizu-san. Are you familiar with this like copy pasta?
No. What is it?
No? You got to do it in one breath.
In one breath?
Did you know that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 has a free trial and includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 with no restrictions on playtime? Sign up and enjoy yours here today.
Oh my gosh. That is a mouthful. That is a mouthful.
So people will come in and be like, have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG? I'm actually getting ads on TikTok for Final Fantasy 14 now, and I'm like, you've got the wrong person. I'm already in.
Yes, yeah, it's like you're already in it, right?
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, like,
Yeah.
so you do the Kingdom Hearts, you do the Final Fantasy. You have any plans of doing anything else, or is that pretty much what you got on your table for the time being?
Yeah, so I like to say I'm a variety streamer.
Hmm.
A bit of a joke because variety streamers who pick up Final Fantasy 14 kind of just evolve into a Final Fantasy 14 streamer. Um, and I mean that's partly true, but I do also intend to play other games, and I will. You know, I make sure at least once a week I play something different,
Hmm.
and try and keep that somewhat consistent. Loved Breath of the Wild, played a bit of that. When
Hmm.
the new one comes out, we'll be playing that on stream definitely. It kind of just depends how I feel. I'm
Mm,
selfish. I'll play what I want to play for the most part.
right, right.
Um,
I
yeah.
like right now I've mostly just been streaming Final Fantasy because one, I like Final Fantasy 14. It's like my favorite game right
Hmm.
now. But then two, like I was just streaming because I wanted to try doing the story from the very beginning. So
Yeah.
my channel is like I call the segment from the beginning basically because I create a whole new character from scratch
Hmm.
and I wanted to see what the experience of a brand new player coming into Final Fantasy 14 would be like because I heard that,
Mm.
you know, they made it easier for people to get into the game by shortening certain things and making other tasks
And
a
they
lot
recently did a
easier.
bunch of adjustments, right?
Yeah, and like a bunch of
Yes.
adjustments. So I kind of wanted to experience it for myself. And then at the same
Hmm.
time, you know, this is 10 years worth of a story. And
It's
I
huge.
haven't played the beginning story part in like forever. So like when I'm doing the stream now, there's a lot of things that like I'm like learning about that I was like, I totally forgot that happened.
And the
Like,
foreshadowing, like,
yeah, the
I mean, I don't know if there's
foreshadowing.
anyone in chat who hasn't like potentially played it yet, so it won't be specific. But like, there was something that came up when you were like end of ARR, right, or
Yes.
something, and it was like, oh,
It
they
was
really do allude to
Ilbird.
that
Yeah.
really early on. Yeah, yeah.
Ilbird said a
Mm-hmm.
very specific thing, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody that in chat that's playing. But Ilbird said something, and I was like, if you didn't know ahead of time what was gonna happen, you had no idea what
Mm.
it meant. But playing it back from the beginning and you hear him say it, you're like, oh my god, they said that they were gonna do
No
this.
way.
And it's like,
Yeah,
they said it before it
it's
even
really good.
happened, and I never even put two and two together, and it was pretty crazy.
Mm. Yeah,
But
but no, I've played a
yeah.
bunch of other games. Jay Louisa asked if I've played Katamari. Katamari, is that the one with the little dudes that roll stuff and
Yeah.
it kind of like I played. So my brother had that on his PSP back in the
Hmm.
day. So if that counts, yes, but otherwise, no. So many games out there.
I
Half
think
the
I'm just
trouble
so
is,
invested in doing Final Fantasy. Like you said, you get invested in the story that like I haven't had a chance really
hmm
to branch out. I tried
yeah.
playing War of Symphony on Twitch, and that was kind of fun. But I always wanted to go back to it and finish the story on that. But I'm just like too engrossed with Final Fantasy right now.
Apparently, Square redeemed Long Furby Scarf. This is where I play the Long Long Man song. And then I put the I'll humor you, Square. I'm not gonna sing the song though, I'm sorry. It's a bit weird out of context.
That's the thing I always see you when you're streaming. You always have your fur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a channel point redeem. Which is, I don't think YouTube has this built in, and it's just something Twitch has built in. One of the many reasons why it's
Hmm.
nice, as much as it's a let's not go into the the behind the whatever of Twitch and Amazon and whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, Furby, long man. Yes, Square is happy with the long man. Nice. This is Vogue, by the way. I elongated Vogue myself, and they are.
Oh, you mean it was a
Kind of
normal
handsome.
sized Furby?
Yeah, they were. They started off. Where did I put it? I have another one. So I have like a posture check Furby. So
Hmm.
if someone redeems posture check, I put this one on my head. So it started like this, and then like I ripped his butt off. Well, I surgically removed his butt. He's had like a sack of beans in there. Removed that. Removed the peats. Made like a long sock, and then reattached
Oh
the
yeah.
butt on the other end. And he's got like a teddy bear spine in him, so he's posable. But yeah, I have many ways for chat, interact with stream, which is one of the many reasons Twitch is just fun. It's wild. You look at it from the outside, if you don't know what's going on, you're very confused.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's part of it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, as Corn said, I exposed the Furby sack on stream. Sorry, I should have checked beforehand. There are many lewdisms on my stream. FYI, anyone who comes over, we tend to make a lot of like lewd jokes and references. I'm sorry, I won't do that here. It was a sack of beans. It was in a stuffed animal because it was a beanie plush.
It's a beanie plush.
Pure and innocent. Yes.
All right, so
Sorry.
after that tangent,
Yeah, you're welcome. Fun times with Lovely.
So with Twitch, since you're more experienced this than I am, and I guess we kind of touched upon this during our tangents, anyways, is that in your opinion are the biggest pros and cons for Twitch as a Twitch streamer?
Well, I mean, I guess comparing it to YouTube, as far as like uploading a video, like as far as what I was doing on YouTube to what I'm doing on Twitch, like live streaming in general, great, as I said before, in that you put in your prep, you do it, it's done. You don't have to edit it or anything. It all happens live. The reverse of that is that it all happens live. So if things go awry, you got to deal with it in the moment. And that can be quite taxing. You're like on all the time. Like you'll know from doing these, right? You can't exactly like lie back and pick your nose or whatever, because people are gonna see.
Right.
A VTuber, I mean, not saying I pick my nose. I don't know what I'm saying here, but you know, you can have a drink, you never question what you look like while you're having a drink until you're on live stream and you can't cut it out. You just second guess it. You're like, how do I swallow? My mouth is doing a weird thing. What's going on? Like the pressures of that, right? And then the whole chat thing is great. It's one of the things I love the most about it. Like interacting with people. And I like the challenge. I kind of liken it to a resource management game. I like juggling things at once, right? So it's like I've got chat and I'm keeping up with chat and I'm playing this game and I'm reading. You know, it's just fun, and I feel quite. I like to be busy and I like to be doing things to the detriment of my health sometimes because I do too many things. But you know, it very much scratches that itch and I enjoy it. The downside of that is you're on all the time, you're getting real-time feedback, and sometimes you don't get feedback, you know, and you have to process that real time. Corn, I see you making that quote right now. Corn just made it. I have a quote thing, and he added a quote to my stream from what I said. Oh God, Corn. Okay, I'm gonna not acknowledge that. Getting distracted now. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about, right? Right now, I'm getting distracted by something that's happened and I have to respond to it in real time.
Right.
And my response can be interpreted as any which way, right? Someone, like, as a streamer, you are kind of in charge of keeping the flow of what's going, maintaining like the vibe, and it's very easy for things to get sidetracked, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. You often get people who come into chat and they trauma dump. They'll tell you, yeah, they'll be in there and they'll be like, yeah, you know, you see something like, oh, hi, how are you, kind of thing. And I kind of hate that. It's not that I don't want to know how you are, but also time and place. And some people will come in and they'll tell you this really like, they treat streamers as their therapists sometimes, right? And that can be a thing that's tricky to navigate. And you want to give people time, but you got to balance doing that whilst not like sacrificing what you're doing. If you like with Twitch and otherwise you can turn view account off so you can't see that, and I've done that. I don't, because it's delayed anyway. So if someone comes in, they won't show up on view account for a little bit. by the time they show up, they're probably gone already.
Mhm.
So if you're sitting there and you're like quiet or whatever, and you're waiting for someone to show up, by the time you talk to them, they're not there anymore. So like that's a whole thing. So you have to be always on. And if
Oh my God,
sometimes
Sylvia.
it's hard to keep going. What is Sylvia saying? Feeling really bad, like my dog just died, and my grandma got run over, and I'm finding it all really hard, and I need so many hugs. Hugs for Sylvie, yeah. But no, like people do come. It's a thing people do, and
Mhm.
they kind of. It's hard to know how to respond to that, and it's a lot of like weight to take on
Mhm.
sometimes. And considering we're all human, right? You might not be having the best time yourself, but you're trying to put on a brave face for what you're doing right now. You're trying to
Right.
just have like a happy space.
Right.
And it's, yeah. And then you get the people as well, yeah, who just like, well, like, yeah, it's difficult in that you never know what you're going to get. That can be
Mhm.
a good thing and a bad thing. You've got to respond in real time. As far as mental health goes, you can see real time that there's no one there, that there's no one in chat, and you just kind of like that's how it is sometimes. Like you
Mhm.
can't control. Someone might have like a party to go to. They might have slept in. You know,
Right.
like it's you can't control where people are, and there's so many variabilities out of your control, and it's a very easy trap to fall in, like with YouTube, looking at the numbers to attribute numbers to your success. But with Twitch, there's a lot more variability involved.
Mhm.
But the fact that you're responding to that in real time, and I say Twitch, but like it's true for streaming in general. Um, yeah, and it's just normal to notice those things and try and like you want to do better or
Right. Yeah, I mean,
I've talked around this a fair amount, but yeah.
yeah, ever since we talked about streaming like off camera, I
Mm-hmm.
turned off that number thing too. Like I on the Twitch streaming telling you how many people are, I turned that off
Mm-hmm.
because it gets distracting.
It gets in your head. It
Mhm.
gets in your head, right? And it's hard for it not to.
Yeah, it gets
Um
really distracting. So now I just turn it off, and I don't know who's in there. It could be 100 people. It could be no people. I have no idea who's in there. So I'm just like streaming, and I'm talking to myself until somebody says something in chat, which for me is easy to respond to because I don't have as many people popping off in chat as I do have right now. So it's a lot easier for me to respond. But like, yeah, I think it's a skill, and you definitely have that skill now where you have all these people chatting, and you can balance the two things that you're doing. Whereas I'm still new at it, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that.
it makes it, you never quite know what you're going to get, and it's fun, like just yeah, honestly, I give chat shit. Sorry, chat gives the same back. It's just yeah. It's good and bad.
Hmm.
But yeah,
So
oh, I didn't realize that my follower
what
alert came over my face before.
did it?
Someone followed.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
just
see
like
it. I didn't even notice it
it
come
like
up.
popped because I whoops, sorry. I'm like virtual camming on OBS so I could show the VTuber if I needed to, and I didn't realize. Well, thank you, Mystical Narisa. Yeah, that's what I say. Real time.
Hmm.
Real time. And it can be, there are people who abuse that real time. Um but
So
yeah.
what's it called? So with streaming, being able to balance that and talking to people, in live, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely a skill because, I've only recently started streaming, and like you said, it's like balancing putting on like a good show and then getting that live feedback. Whereas when you're doing just regular YouTube, you're just filming, there's no one around you. There's no one really distracting you. You just kind of focus on doing your thing, and then and even if you make mistakes, you can edit it out and
You
only
can,
put
yeah.
in what you want people to see, and then you just post it on YouTube. Whereas on Twitch, it's just all live. Or even YouTube stream like we're doing right now, it's just all live. So any mistakes we make, anything we say or silly things we do, you have to react to it and you know act accordingly, or whatever is the right term for
And
it.
you do kind of have to just embrace it after a certain point. That's
Hmm.
why like most streams I go into have some sort of like, you know, jank is a thing. you yeah, it just is what it is.
Yeah, like with
You
my
try
streams,
and make things
tangents is the
seamless,
thing.
but yeah. Oh, and another thing you're saying like to manage is you your guest who just keeps on going off on tangents and bringing random things in and won't stop.
No, it's
Well, I
not
think
just
I
the
do.
guests. It's me too. I sometimes I go off script a lot as well. It's not just the guest. It's a mutual thing. That's why I said this should be called, I think it was in the last stream. I think I said it when I had Kitten Cat Shop. We said that we should change the name to Beyond the Tangent, because that's pretty much all we
Yes.
do is we have something in mind that we want to talk about, and then we just tangent off of it.
You should do like a spin-off that is Beyond the Tangent, and it's like, you know, those Wikipedia challenges people do sometimes where it's
Mhm.
like you start here and you have to get here and you have to like find connection.
Mhm.
You should do that where it's like you start with one topic and it's like, okay, we have to get to this topic, but we have to do it via tangents, and like that could be fun.
That would be really weird, and I don't think I'd ever find the end goal because I'd be stuck on too many tangents.
But and then if you never make it there, that's just part of the charm.
That means I lost the game. I basically
You lost the game. Yeah. Tangent hero.
Tangent
John
hero.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's funny.
Mhm.
So
You're from Activision. Oh gosh. Tangents are the best part. It means it's not like this is real. We're here talking right now. It's this isn't some scripted thing. I can't do scripted things if I tried. I don't know if like
Oh, no.
do you script your YouTube videos,
No.
Shizusan, like at all?
No, I do not. I don't script any of my YouTube videos. The only time I did script them was the very beginning. Like when I
Right.
first started, like I had like a couple pieces of paper hanging from underneath the camera so I could like read off of it and keep myself on track on what I was doing. Nowadays I just I don't like I read about what I need to know and then I just go off from there. Like
I will say streaming has helped me to be more sure about what I'm going to say, although when I am sitting down to film a YouTube video, I still like I'm hearing myself and I'm like that was wrong and I say it again and I'm like no, say it again, and I end up and that gets quite stressful and you get in your head about how you sound and like did I put a weird tone on that? I stumbled over those words and I stumble over most of my words most of the time. So and then you're trying to mash it together and it doesn't work in editing because you were like for some reason sounding a bit like elated in that and now you're
yeah you can't match up the tones. You try to edit it and match the tones and then it just comes out sounding weird. Like it's just really, like even till this day when I do the Doll Symposium, because that's pre-recorded, that's not a live stream for the news, I always do multiple takes for the first part. So like if you watch my my Doll Symposium, I always do an intro where I'm just like, hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of the Doll Symposium. It is episode 19 of blah blah blah, and like I do my whole intro. Believe it or not, till this day I still do like 10 to 15 takes of that because I always screw it up. Because then I'll be like, let's get started with this video. Why did I say that? Why did I put my hands in front of my face like this when I did that?
And then you second guess yourself.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of spiral. And yeah, it's the same for my outro. Like I never had an outro. And then somehow, somewhere along the line I did. And it, I don't, like, I could probably rattle it off for you now, but I won't. But you just get tripped over your words. And the more you say something, when it becomes, this is what you say, it just sounds, it's like if you say one word enough times, it stops sounding like a word anymore. And the next thing you just,
yeah. So
Words are
like
hard
my
for me.
intros are always the same though. Like I always kind of like say, this is this episode of whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then like the actual content of it, I always have to psych myself up before I start filming that, even though it's not live stream. And I convince myself that it's live stream so that I don't do
that's
many
a good way to
takes.
do it.
So I sit in front of the camera and I'm like, okay, I'm about to record. This is recording the news of the Doll Symposium. And I always psych myself by saying, one shot the dream. Before I start, I always go, one shot the dream. I'm not going to do any more takes. I'm just going to go right through it, one shot the dream, and let's go.
Yeah, because it just means more work editing later as well. And then you have to hear yourself fail lots of times. And it's like, I don't keep my outtakes. I could make a killer blooper reel, but it would just be sad to watch, honestly. It's just me failing and just being like,
I tried to do that. I tried to do a blooper reel of all my fails from unboxing videos and stuff. And after trying to get certain snippets and stuff like that, it really got me depressed. Like how many
Yeah.
times I watched myself fail.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It's yeah. Get those out, delete those. Don't look
Yeah.
at them ever again. I don't need reminders of my
I thought it
yeah.
was going to be funny, but at the end of the day, when I started just looking for all the failures, it just got really depressing.
But failures on stream are funny
Yeah,
somehow.
failures on stream are funny. I think it's
hmm
because of the fact you can't take it back
No.
and you just got to roll with it. So
And
like,
you kind of end up reacting to it sometimes, which
mhm.
also adds to it. That's one other thing Twitch has is I don't know if YouTube has like a built-in clip feature, but Twitch has that, which is pretty cool. Viewers can
YouTube
clip a moment.
YouTube has a thing where you can clip things, but I don't think it's the same way you do it with Twitch, because I know what you're talking about. Like Twitch has like a highlight reel thing where you can kind of go in
Mm.
and take certain parts only and
I
exit
mean, that's
out.
how I highlight my whole VOD so that it doesn't get deleted.
Mhm.
Because if I don't highlight my whole VOD after 20 days or so, it's gone.
Mhm.
But clips are separate. Like other viewers can make clips,
Mhm.
and they're usually like I think they're
Yeah,
limited to a minute maximum.
somebody on my stream when I was streaming on Twitch, they were like, "I think you're lagging." And I was like, "Am I? I don't see anything lagging on my screen." And they actually did a highlight. They copied my
Oh yeah.
stream in a highlight and then posted it back at me, and I actually could see that my stream was lagging on there.
Real time.
It was real time. It was just lagging real time, and on my end, I don't see it. And you know how Twitch has that green bar to tell you how your bitrate is going or whatever. It kept saying it was
Yeah.
excellent. It kept saying it was
Oh,
excellent, but then this other guy proved me wrong by sending me a highlight of my jank stream.
Yeah. We're not alone. Sylvie's the same. Blooper reel from the 30-second ad. That was really cool though, Sylvie. 4 times longer. Yeah, I go to edit a video that's ends up 5 minutes and the whole thing's like 40. Because from the times I've had to wait for a helicopter to go past, say the same
Mhm.
thing a bazillion times, second guess myself, get up,
Mhm.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah, it is annoying, and I do like that freedom of live streaming. It's like you said earlier. It's like you just prepare yourself to get on live. You do your thing
Mhm.
while you're streaming, and then when you're done, you're done. There's
Yeah.
nothing else. There's no editing. There's no like, and even if you do it on Twitch, I don't. There's no thumbnails on Twitch. I don't think, right? Do they have thumbnails for your
Well,
VODs?
not
Because
really,
yeah,
no.
it doesn't.
Well, you can.
I haven't seen it an area to put thumbnails, which I like
Yeah.
because that's one of the things I hate doing. I hate doing thumbnails so much.
I think when you highlight, so all of my highlights take a thumbnail from the first few seconds, so it's all my
Mm-hmm.
starting soon screen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you can technically change it, but I've not bothered. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter because it's not like YouTube where people search and browse them. There's no easy way to browse people's VODs. You
Right.
have to be on their channel already and actively seeking it. And at that point, I guess thumbnails would help people to find what they want to find. But most of it's from like most of what you want to gain from Twitch is when you're live. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right. Well, that was an interesting and long subject of streaming, but that's good though because
Good one.
that's something that you can bring to the table, as a guest that I don't have as much experience for. So thank you for sharing that with
Good.
with
Thanks for
my
humoring me with this
with
streaming
everybody in the
tangent.
stream. So, moving on to our next topic, we're going to go back to talking about dolls again because that's mostly what this channel is supposed to be about. And we kind of talked about it already in the very beginning of the stream, but I wanted to just bring it back very shortly because we already covered it anyways, but bring it back very shortly is the difference between resin and vinyl. Like what's going on with the community. So we talked about earlier that a lot of resins collectors have kind of made their way towards vinyl dolls, and a lot of vinyl collectors are starting to, I wouldn't say starting to collect resin, but I think a lot of vinyl doll collectors are really starting to fall in love with what we are now calling semi-real because of smart doll. So
I've like got the smallest part of that VOD to watch, by the way. I'm a bit behind on your
oh, the anime versus semi-real.
Yeah.
But the for those that don't really understand what I'm talking about in chat that may be new to this, is that most of the vinyl dolls nowadays are anime looking, or anime inspired, or anime collaborated characters to look like, a certain way. Smart Doll has a subset of character of dolls, or should I say category? More so a category of dolls that
Yeah, I'd say category.
they term like semi-real, which means it's not exactly anime, it's not exactly real, it's a little bit in the middle, kind of like a video game CGI character looking thing. And I think a lot of people are that were once hardcore anime collectors and anime fans are slowly but surely getting into the whole semi-real line. So they're not really going full resin, but they're kind of getting to that halfway point. And that's kind of why I wanted to use this picture here, for people to see. You have the Little Mermaid, which is the new resin doll that's being released by Volks. And then on the other side, you have the brand new Smart Doll semi-real Courage in gray. And I just wanted to show you guys like the similarities. Like they look kind of close, but not exactly. Like one still has more of an anime feel to it.
I could always bring a couple forward. I'd have to take my headphones off because my cable's not very long for like to show a comparison to.
Do you have one that you could show?
A resin versus vinyl kind of situation.
Yeah. Because I don't.
All of my collection is here, so all my resin is there too. I'll just grab someone at the front so it's easy. I can't hear you while my headphones are
okay.
on. FYI. So talk rubbish about me now.
No, we wouldn't do that, right, chat?
That came through on my headphones. I'll just grab this guy because he's close. Definitely could be strung tighter though. I saw Lami say don't do resin because of the restringing part. It's not as bad as you think sometimes. But yeah, so resin, boy. Yeah. So it's his body doesn't match his face. I'm sorry. Don't ignore the color match, but like, so they're more of a realistic-ish style. I don't know. Gosh, he really looks orange. I apologize. I need to wash his body. I've not been bothered. There's with resin, you can get like full sets, right? But the norm is more so for you to kind of customize them or kind of mix and match. Or at least, I mean, you can collect however you want to collect. That's like the joy of it, the best thing about it. But thank you, cat. It's got ghost cats on it. Sorry, my dress has ghost cats.
I didn't even notice those were cats.
Yeah, they're ghost cats. They're cats with like little sheets on them. It's very cute. But yeah, so I've forgotten what I was saying, but
you're saying how they look a little bit more realistic. You were saying,
yeah, as opposed to like the anime style, yeah. So they've got more pronounced noses and lips and ears and kind of like brow bones and that kind of thing. Whereas by comparison, a vinyl is flatter. I don't know if you can see this at all from where I am right now, but like, the nose on this guy is just like a point.
Right.
Whereas he has nostrils. And I guess that's what you're saying with the semi-real. They have like more pronounced noses.
Yeah, they have more pronounced noses. They have more, like fuller lips, I would say. The eye shapes are a lot different because, normally anime characters have big eyes. So, with the semi-real line, they have much smaller eyes, to make it look more quote unquote realistic. So it's got the anime aesthetic of the facial shape, I would say. And like how like the eyes are drawn and the makeup is drawn, but then you have that little hint of realism with like the actual nose with nostrils. You have much more fuller lips rather than just like a line.
Nose breathers, yes, Andy.
Right, rather than just like a line for like the mouth. You know what I mean? So it does encapsulate some of those resin aesthetics, but mixes it with like the anime thing. And I feel like as much as there was a divide between resin and vinyl dolls, more so in the earlier years, I think they're more now coming together. Like the whole, collectors and hobbyists or whatever, the whole doll family is kind of becoming sort of one in a way, slowly but surely, I feel like.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as far as the state of the hobby with like resin vinyl kind of situation, I'm a disclaimer this, but like I feel like I can't speak too much to it since I mean, it's no secret I've not like been uploading consistently in a while, right? My energy's on Twitch.
Hmm.
But I still definitely do things in my doll hobby, right?
Hmm.
But like I am not very involved in the social side of it, like the social media side. I still watch videos, I try and catch streams and things when I can. Although I've never been able to catch one of Shizusan's streams live because we great minds, we have similar schedules.
Yeah, like, I didn't learn that until like you mentioned it, but we stream at exactly the same time every,
Mm,
well, for me Friday, for you Saturday. So that's
yeah, I
why,
would normally stream
you
Friday.
always miss my streams and I never catch yours because we're on time on at the same time.
Mm. For multitude of reasons, I am switching to Sunday though, so it'll be this time tomorrow.
Oh, will it? Okay.
But yeah, well, probably not tomorrow because I'm streaming this now instead, but yeah, so yeah, I don't think I can say too much about, like, I'm not in the thick of it, right?
Hmm.
I don't I don't
But
know
that's
how
okay. Like I,
the vibe
you
of
know,
people, but
I
I
think your opinion or your take on things is still a good thing to that I think people should hear because I would like to have the uh, someone's version or someone's side of things, from
mm,
either someone that's knee deep in the hobby or someone that's just getting into the hobby or like is an individual like yourself who was very much so in the hobby that kind of is now slowly a little bit out of it as much as you used to be. So I think that getting your take on things would be very interesting actually.
mm. I mean, like, initially, I mean, it's no I'm not going to sugarcoat it and I'm not going to go into it too deep, but it's no secret that like the resin community as a whole is toxic as feck. There are a lot of shit shows going on. It's like the R word, all this rubbish. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's a lot of real problems in it. They are real problems and they shouldn't be like, that
Mm-hmm.
they're important, but there are, as with anything, with any collection of people, in any hobby, there are always going to be certain types of people, yeah.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
and those types of peeps are often the loudest. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, initially it was like when I first started collecting, right? Like, I mean, before I even got my first doll, I had already known and been interested about smart dolls, and that was not a new thing for me. But to people who are watching my channel, to suddenly have vinyl in there, they, some people were like, oh, they were quiet about not liking these types of
Mm-hmm.
dolls, and that's fine. But there were some people who also, the vibe you get is that they don't like them and they see them as like so different that they don't want to associate. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like a divide, which is, and I would like to say that, as you said, it's become more like this these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see as much of that, and I don't know whether it's because I'm removed, because I've always been very particular about, I'm in my happy space and there might be shit going on elsewhere, but I'm going to keep doing my thing and I'm going to be nice to people and I'm going to support artists and support people and just kind of have my area. Crypt, yeah, recasting, just counterfeit things, and it's a whole conversation on its own. But
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly, you say the I said the R word the way I did because it's it's become so much of a, almost like a taboo, and it
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't, because it's like at its core it's like you just about valuing people's work,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. um and but somewhere along the way people get so heated with it that it's kind of lost sight of like what, and people are too focused on sides and all this
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So um and on the contrary, I mean, like, as you'd know with smart doll, there are plenty of things, people that are, they sour it for the rest of us, and it's, you can
Mm-hmm.
choose to acknowledge it or just to, you know stay in your happy space. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, do what you got to do. um and then, yeah, I don't know how I got here. um but I do think that on the whole things are more intertwined as
Mm-hmm.
far as resin and vinyl goes, because I mean, hey, like, we're doing the same thing. We're collecting dolls, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like so they look a little different and they have different styles,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not to say that, you know, one's better than the other, as
Right.
some people like to
I've met,
be elitist.
throughout my years of doing YouTube and doing panels at conventions talking about these dolls, I've met a lot of different types of people. And
Mm.
one of the things I thought was really interesting is a lot of resin collectors that were purely into resin dolls. They didn't like
Mm-hmm.
vinyl dolls at all. Um,
Mm-hmm.
are kind of slowly getting into vinyl dolls
Yeah,
because
it's
of
cool, right?
the semi-real line, because it
Mm.
has
And
those,
it's a style.
yeah, it has those features that they really like about resin, but then they also are starting to really get into it because the semi-real line is, being vinyl, it's a lot lighter than a resin doll. So a lot of collectors are starting to really like that, not having to lug really heavy resin dolls around. And then it
Yeah.
doesn't have the full anime look. So it has kind of that quote unquote semi-real. So it kind of has that resin look, but with like, a little anime aesthetic in there.
And more portability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
bridging. I feel like that certain line of vinyl dolls is bridging a kind of a gap that used to be
Mm.
between the two worlds of anime vinyl and realistic resin, so to speak. And this
Mm.
introduction of semi-real now is right in between the two.
It's bridged a gap in some ways for some people. Like there'll always
Mm-hmm.
be people who aren't a fan, and like Sandy said, they at Dolcon Dallas there was mixed. It was a mixed group, and you heard that there can be resin elitism, even like
Mm-hmm.
within resin dolls on their own. Like certain companies that are like cheaper, um, yeah, there's just shitty people everywhere,
Yeah, there
honestly.
there really
And
are.
it, yeah, mm,
But
yeah,
what's funny too is I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. Um,
mm,
I feel like sometimes when you have a group of people that like a certain thing. So for instance, in this situation, let's talk about like vinyl dolls, right? It
mm-hmm,
it used to be a very small, tight knit community, and
mm-hmm,
in that type of a community, everybody knows everybody, right? So everybody's
yeah,
really nice to each other. Everybody's helping each other, and anybody that's coming into the small community, they feel like this warm welcome, right? Because it's
mm-hmm,
this community thing. But I feel like what's happening to the doll community right now is something that happens in a lot of other hobby communities that I feel wasn't there before. Is that when something so small gets bigger and bigger, and you start adding more people into it, and your pot gets bigger, just like if you were to pour water in the pot, once it gets to a certain, like, I guess, limit, the water starts spilling out, right? So in a way, I feel like you're getting all these individuals now coming into the hobby because the hobby's been growing by leaps and bounds every year. That differences of culture, differences of opinions, differences of region, just where you're living geographically, even here in the United States, like, it has been bringing um, differences of opinions that clash with each other in the community.
mm,
And
yeah,
we've seen this happen. At least I've seen this happen in the doll community as of late. In the past 2 years, there was a big incident that happened, I think, about 4 years ago, and then there was another incident that happened about a year ago where people were just kind of like, you thought everybody was friends and everything was go happy go lucky, and then something happens that triggers them, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden becomes an all out war. And I feel like that'll just happen everywhere. So whether you're in the doll community, you're in the video game community, the car community, it'll happen anywhere. But I just feel like nowadays, because the hobby is growing so fast, that we're starting to see it come in, and people are just now kind of learning how to navigate their way around it, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's a lot of information out there these days too,
Mm-hmm.
which is really helpful from a lot of sources. And like, when I started, the only info, I mean, there was still a fair amount, but it was different, as you say. The problematic people often are the loud people,
Mm-hmm.
and the welcome some people had wasn't the warmest, which
Mm-hmm.
can push people certain ways too. So yeah, it's navigating any kind of like social space or like um community hobby thing
Mm-hmm.
is it's tricky.
Right.
There's always going to be
And like
something.
Kat said in chat, kindness and respect go a long way. And that's so true.
Exactly.
So
Yes,
true.
just remember that. Honestly, you wouldn't think it's hard, but sometimes you do question it.
And I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer, because bringing up such a
No,
serious topic during
no,
our
it's
our
good to
very
talk
fun
about, and it's
session.
fine. It's important.
But I
It's
felt like,
important. And this is
we
what I'm
have to
here to talk
balance it
about.
out with a little bit of fun and a little bit of seriousness.
Just gonna put this guy over here because he's kind of heavy.
I know that's one of the things about resins that people complain about to me. They're like, "Oh God, vinyl's so much lighter."
It can be a good thing though, honestly. Like, so that one, people who know my dolls, my channel. So that body used to be Lee's body. Lee being the guy here. He got like a bigger body,
Hmm.
but the weight of them. It's nice to hold them sometimes.
Hmm.
They feel like just it's something comforting about it
Hmm.
for me. This feels. I don't want to say substantial because it implies that others aren't, but it's just like can be nice to hold them
Hmm.
sometimes until it's not, until you get tired.
Until you get tired. But
Yeah.
it's funny too because that can happen with vinyl dolls as well. Like there are times where I walk through a whole convention for a whole day holding my vinyl doll in my arms, and then like when I finally get a chance to put the vinyl doll down, I notice that my arm is just stuck in this pose. And if I try to move it, it hurts so much because it's been stuck for 8 hours or so holding the doll in this one pose.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's anything like Ashtola or Miku, like the clothes and stuff they have on them definitely add a fair amount. I mean, Ashtola more
Yeah,
than Miku, but
yeah. Oh, which, by the way, brings me to another thing I wanted to say about Ishtola. Be careful with her.
I've already,
Did you see it? You saw it around the thighs, right? Or did you see it
Oh,
somewhere else?
no. I I have a mark. Mine has a mark on her collarbone,
On her
like
collarbone?
here.
Ah, is that from
I
the
so
the
I
little neck thing, that neck piece?
I think so. I was
Mm.
devastated. So I got the shipping thing for her and it was doing nothing for a long time. And then I'm like, "Oh, wait, I should probably get some sort of body sock for
Mm-hmm.
her." So I got the Smart Doll one, the T one,
Mm-hmm.
which color-wise, pretty great. Can't complain. I was worried about like how it would fit since they're slightly different shapes,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, oh, sorry, Corn said weight make brain feel good about it. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But yes, I dressed her. I got her. I opened her on stream. I didn't have the body sock
Mm-hmm.
thing, so I thought she'd be alright for a moment. It was all lined. I thought we'd be right. It was all good everywhere except for this little spot. And
Mm.
if I even if I had the body sock, I probably wouldn't have put the top part
Mm-hmm.
on because it would cover her tattoo.
Yes, it would cover the tattoos, exactly.
But as soon as I saw that it's like a little mark there, and I think it is from the part that goes around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
It's lined, but yes, I'd be worried about that. So anyway, she's covered.
Yeah, because there's some black
covered
string
now.
in there, I think. That
That'll
they
be
put
what
the
it was.
line.
Yeah.
See, my
But did you
problem,
say on the thighs?
mine was the thighs. So when I did the unboxing video of my Ishtola, I didn't have the bodysuit either. It was on order, but it just hasn't arrived yet. So I had her all dressed up. I took her out for a photo shoot or whatever. And then a week goes by after I already put her in her outfit. So it's been a whole week in that black outfit without a body sock.
Yeah.
And then the body stocking came in. So I undressed her so I could put the body stocking on. Well, like you said, the one downside of the body stocking is it covers her neck tattoos, which is one of the coolest things. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But then I also noticed that her boots are white lined on the inside, right? But the very top of the boots is not white lined.
Not.
And
No.
there
Oh,
are
gosh.
2 black rings around her thighs when I took the boots off. And luckily enough, I must have caught it right when it just started to stain, to the point where like I kind of gently rubbed it off with some warm water and it came off.
Thank
So like
goodness mine didn't.
so
That's
like it
super
came
fun.
off and she's fine, there's no problems, but like had I left it on a little bit longer, it probably would have stained a lot deeper and worse. So
Yeah.
that's just a
I
word of
scrubbed
warning.
mine with a
Anybody in
vaporizer.
chat that is gonna get a Y'shtola, watch out for I guess the neck part now and the thighs with the boots because they will stain.
Yeah.
They will stain.
I mean, they did their best with lining things, and they did a really good job with those garments. But there's only so much you can do.
Right. But yeah,
Oh,
and that little
that's a
hand
smart
thing,
idea.
the little hand glove that she comes with, that was a pain in the butt. Let me just
The
say.
hardest thing I had was swapping, and there were amount of comments made in chat that I will not repeat, but like me struggling really hard to replace her hand.
Hmm.
Because she has like a special hand with like
Yeah, with the rings.
rings and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, could not for the life of me. But no, Joe had a good idea. To put doll on messenger bag and like twist arms around the straps so they can hold it to save their arms. That's good.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. You know, Joe, since you brought that up, I saw there's a Japanese
Oh, I
what do you
wonder.
say it?
Sandy, yeah.
Like atelier, is that the word? Like somebody that makes like clothing for dolls, basically. Um
Mm-hmm.
they made basically what looked like a sling. So like when you break your arm and they put your arm in a sling, like and it wraps around your shoulders or whatever. They made
Mm-hmm.
one for a doll where it's basically the same sling,
Cute.
but there's a cutout on the bottom for their feet to fall through.
So it's like what you a baby carrier, but for a doll.
Yeah, and they're walking around with it, and they were selling it, and I wanted to buy one so bad, but they were sold out.
Ah,
Because I think that would definitely alleviate having to hold a doll while you're walking around a con. It's literally an
good.
arm sling for like people
Mm.
with broken arms, and they just like cut a little hole out on the bottom for like the legs to poke through.
I mean, I've seen people like with Eda bags and they've put like
Oh yeah,
dolls
yeah,
in
I've seen
them
that
as
too.
well.
And the cat bags, the cat carrier backpacks,
Yes,
people
those
with
two.
a little window, people have been using that too to walk around with their dolls.
People are creative, yeah.
But thanks for bringing that up, Joe, because I totally forgot about that until like you mentioned it.
Mm. And yeah, Sandy asked if or wondered if your has that issue. That's the mum
Yeah,
from
that's the mom from Spy
Spy Family.
Family.
I still haven't seen Spy Family. I need to. I
You
know Kat
should.
raves
It's
it.
it's so good, and like I say,
I
it's so
need
good,
to.
but I feel like not only is it good, but it's one of those shows that can appeal to a lot of different people. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like a family fun, but then it has some action and some comedy, so it's got a sprinkle of everything in it.
Just
Um,
what you want,
and
yeah.
it's really good. But yeah, Sandy, I think her black outfit will probably be white line, just like Ishtola's was, where they white line it in the sleeves and the bust, but then the hanging
The
part
right
from the waist
edges.
down is not white lined, and then the
And
stitches are in the
2B was the
color.
same.
Yeah, 2B was the same.
Mm,
And then
yeah.
I think yours outfit does have the thigh high boots, I think. So you might want to
Mm.
watch out for that because Ishtola had the thigh high black boots, and that's where I got the stains from. So
I'm glad you were able to get them off though.
yeah, I caught
See,
it just in time. It was
I got a
only on
pretty
for a
mess.
week, so
Mine's
I
only a
freaked
little
out.
dot, but I know it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's
I
annoying.
freaked out though when I took off the boot and I saw it. I was like, I was
Yeah.
like
I just went straight to Magic Eraser, and I don't know if that was the best idea. It
Mhm,
made sense in my head, and it dulled it slightly, but it's
mhm,
still very much embedded in there.
mm.
Also, Joe, you should totally take these ideas and run with them. I'm on your waiting list. Okay, thanks.
Hey, if you want to make one and sell them, I'd be down because
Do
I
it.
couldn't
Yeah,
sew for my life and make one.
that'd be very cool. Yeah.
Corn says, "What chat making comments you can't repeat? Never." I think that
Yeah,
that
about
relates to your
Ashtola's
streams.
hand. Yeah, we have fun.
Watch Buddy
It's comfy
Daddies.
though, but yeah. Mm. Who is
watch but
Buddy Daddies?
watch Buddy Daddies. What do you mean by that, John? I'm not really sure.
In relation to Spy Family, maybe? No, something else.
Mm,
Sandy's in on this too. Is this an anime or a show that I'm not aware of?
yeah, I don't know
Must
about
be.
that. I know that John and Sandy have seen Spy Family. I don't know about the Buddy Daddies though. You're gonna have to let us
Maybe
in
there are
on that.
daddies in Spy Family that are buddies.
Okay, so
Kids these days don't know what they're on about.
he says it's an anime.
Right. Okay.
Uh Buddy Daddies. I don't know about
I'll
it.
have to look
I'm
it
gonna
up.
have to look into it, yeah. So going on to our next topic with dolls is something that you definitely can contribute to because I know nothing about. is going on to community and doll meetups. So this is something I'm very passionate about. I talk about it on my stream all the time. I want this hobby to grow to the point where people can feel free to hang out and go to meetups. In the United States, I know that there is a fairly large group in California that meet up from time to time, and they display their dolls and they have fun, talking about dolls. And I know just recently there was Dallas Doll Con that Kat and my lady Disdain all went to and enjoyed. But I don't feel like we have anything that here on the East Coast of the United States, and I'm trying my best to kind of start one. And Tempest went to bed already, but Tempest is doing a doll. I don't know what the right word for it is. A doll exhibition at a local con here in Pennsylvania, and so we're trying to get people to come to this con and hang out and just like be able to share the love for this hobby and just meet new people and discuss things. But for you, or the reason why I'm asking is in New Zealand, is there a doll community there? Do people do doll meetups around your area?
Well, kind of. So, New Zealand is small in comparison, yeah. So, when I first started in the hobby, my first thought was I want to find other people who also do this because I want to like make friends, meet people, have meetups, do that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Initially, and actually they did a video with me.
They did a video.
Like it was a tag video.
Uh-huh.
I think it was maybe Would You Rather? I'm not sure.
Would you rather? Oh my gosh.
I well no, like a doll related Would You Rather tag, I think it was. I can't remember.
Okay.
Like pre-written questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you think that but yeah, so I how did I even there are a couple of Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is more active than the other. Because I assume there's some drama.
Mm-hmm.
Won't go into that. There always is. But most of the people are in Auckland
Mm-hmm.
or upper North Island, right? And I'm in Wellington, which is lowest of the lowest part of the North Island. So it's two islands. If you don't know New Zealand, North Island, South Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not all that far away, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But like, if there are meetups, they are up in Auckland, and I cannot get to them. They don't happen super frequently. I did manage to find someone who was local to me, and they were someone who I think at the time I had a couple of dolls at that point, and yeah, just an 8-hour drive, right, Corn? Yeah. But they had just got their first doll, and they were very new. They were very young, and they yeah, they didn't stay in the hobby too long. They didn't really, which is, nothing on them. That's totally fine. Later on, I found like one other person. So I was trying to like collect the local doll hobby people, right?
Right.
And at one point there were 3 of us, and then someone left, and then there were 3 of us again. And then like people moved away. Never enough to do anything significant, but did a couple of things where they just come around to my place and we'd just hang out. That was really the extent of it. I think they do things in Auckland similar, just they do like meetups. There is a convention in Auckland where Cherry Dolls Boutique, if you're familiar.
Oh yeah, I know them.
They're in Auckland. Yeah,
really? They're
actually,
Cherry Dolls is New Zealand based. Oh my gosh, I love their stuff. I didn't know that
they're lovely. They sent me a parcel for Christmas, and it's in my pile of things I need to open.
Oh my gosh! For some reason I always thought that Cherry Dolls was a Japanese based company. I did not know.
No, they're a Kiwi. Yeah, they're a New Zealander.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and I bought a doll body from them too. That's sitting there, also waiting.
They have beautiful stuff. Like their dresses are amazing.
They do. Yeah.
I've always wanted to buy. I haven't gotten a chance to buy from them yet, but I will. Sometime.
But yeah, so they are kind of like the main organizer of meetups and things in Auckland, and I guess they're like the founder of the active Facebook page. And if they think, I can't remember the name of the convention, but there is one that's only in Auckland that they have had a stall that's doll related at
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, but that's the extent of it. Like it's not a doll con by
Okay,
any
so
means.
it's kind of like an whatever con, or is it an anime con,
Like
or?
it'll yeah, kind of like a yeah, I guess anime
Mm-hmm.
ish con. Yeah.
Okay, and then they have like their own like little section, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's like more crafts and more artist alley kind of vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So they just have their kind of corner of it
Ah.
for that. Yeah, but it's the scene here is quite small and quite quiet, and the
Mm-hmm.
people that I did know local have either moved away or like physically or away from the hobby in general. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have too much else to say.
No,
I
that's
wish I
okay.
so when we have had so there's the main convention that we have had here is called Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been through some stuff. It's so the biggest one in Auckland was cancelled last year for reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
they've just yeah. So but that's anime, gaming, everything. It's just yeah, kind of convention thing. And I've last couple of times I've gone, I've brought a doll along,
Mm-hmm.
um, to try and like, hey,
Like yeah, like
um,
find like-minded people that are interested, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. It's I think it's getting a little bit like as it's people are becoming more aware of the hobby in
Mm-hmm.
general. Like doll customizers on YouTube have a huge like that huge influence as far as that's concerned. Like people are seeing people print their dolls and um
Mm-hmm.
customize them, and then obviously smart dolls becoming more mainstream. So there are more and more people in these Facebook groups. So I'm hopeful for like someday there could be
Mm-hmm.
something bigger, but
And
yeah, I would love.
I've noticed
Sorry,
in
I was
chat that Corn keeps talking about a casual 8-hour drive. Is that how long it takes
yeah
to go from the top to the bottom or bottom of the top of New Zealand?
of the well from Wellington to Auckland, yeah. So bottom of the North Island
Mm-hmm.
to not quite the top of the North Island, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But no, so like seeing all the pictures from Dolcon Dallas, I'm just like, I want
I
to go
know.
there.
I've seen John and
I want
Sandy's
this.
and Kat's
Yes,
pictures, and I'm like, oh
the
my god, that looks like so much
pictures.
fun.
Also, carrying your dolls on your shoulder is smart.
Mm.
Like little piggyback situation will help with like the weight and the.
Mm-hmm.
Although if I did that with my vinyl doll, that'd probably just go it back. But yeah, and yeah, as Corn said, petrol prices as well doesn't help. You'd want to make a weekend of it for sure, but yeah, it's
mm.
mm,
But yeah, that's something that I was always curious about because, I only have the experience that I have here in the eastern side of the United States. So I was always curious, like, what the doll scene is like in like different areas. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, I was just curious, like, is there a scene? Is there not a scene down there in New Zealand?
yeah, it's very casual way. Like uh, at I guess its peak for me as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good friend of mine, like that they've moved away now, but like I would go over to their place and we just hang out, and they, oh my gosh, their collection incredible.
Mm-hmm.
They had a smart doll summer. They got it. That was their smart doll they got, but
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, like you walk into their place and it's just they've got so many, mostly like resin, but just amazing, beautiful dolls displayed and around everywhere. It's just like, oh, it's just magical. But we'd just go there and hang out, and we'd like just yeah, it was just hanging out with friends, but shared hobby, shared interest
Mm-hmm.
to talk about, which is nice. And they actually were in a video as well, 'cause, rope friends in to do that. um, but yeah,
Oh, that's
it
that.
was nice.
That's
Yeah, we did
cool.
a Halloween thing.
Oh, you made it.
I
You had a theme going on.
Yeah, so for one Halloween, I think I put like a very short video on my channel where it was like to this is Halloween, which of course I couldn't like that was just turn monetization off for that one because it'll get flagged immediately. But
Mm-hmm.
it was just like a slow pan of like my diorama, which was just filled to the brim of dolls because I think that was the most people I'd kind of gathered from Wellington area. There might have been like 5 of us
Mm-hmm.
who and we everyone just kind of brought dolls along, and we like brought like little mini treats and
Hmm.
things and took photos of our dolls and the diorama with like
Yeah,
Halloween
that's
decorations.
more akin to what I'm used to, even where I'm from. Like we have a
Mm.
New Jersey group that meets up every now and then, and it's really only like 5 or 6 of us. It's a small gathering, which is fine. I mean, because you get to know people a lot better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I've always wanted to see if we could kind of grow it, kind of to what, and I've said this a couple times already, is something akin to like the Dallas DollCon that's down there, because they seem to have a very good scene down there, and we just don't have that on the East Coast, and
Mm.
trying trying to make it happen somehow has been rather much of a challenge. But this year we're trying to make it done. Tempest is spearheading a doll meetup, and at a local con in Pennsylvania. So I mean, I'm going. A couple other people are going, and like if we could, make it into a thing, because the convention is called Thy Geekdom Con, and with talking with the what do they call those people anyways, the coordinators, like the people that are in charge of
Oh yeah, that
programming
makes
and things
sense.
like that. So they gave us like our own area within the
Mm-hmm.
con. So it's usually a con. It's about like comic books, video games, anime kind of thing, and it's a very small local con. But they've agreed to give us a couple tables of space to kind of display our dolls, and then a couple panel slots to at least talk about the dolls to like any attendees that are coming. So we're trying to like branch
That's
out and
cool.
and start something on our end, but it's
Plant the
trying.
seed, right? Get people like
Yeah, because the only time we've
interested
had,
so they know. Yeah.
at least for me on the eastern side, we've only had one time where we had like a lot of people come out, and that's with when Anime NYC was here and Danny
Mm-hmm.
Choo came. And when
Right.
he came as a guest, we had a whole bunch of people flock. It's the most doll people I've seen in one place. Like they're literally like 100 or more people just there to see Danny. And it was pretty good. It was I met so many people. It was a lot of fun, and I just hope to have something like that happen again.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
would love
have
that
to.
too.
Yeah, I don't want to have to rely on Danny coming to an event for all these individuals to come out. Like I kind of want to have our own thing so that people can gather at least once a year for like a big event or something like that. That would be
Mm.
nice. But this picture that I have on stream right now, that's the latest group from Anime NYC of 2022. We had I
Mm-hmm.
think about 10 people show up. So it was fairly nice, and we were situated like in the middle of the whole convention area. So anyone walking around the convention would
Cool.
have seen this table out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like people just don't know. Yeah, like the first time I walked around with a doll was so was Millie, who back there with like the sitting on the chair with the black and like the red green.
Hmm.
I so I made like to match the Mercy wings that you can see part of in the staff. So
Hmm.
that was like I did cosplay, and then I dolls happened, so no more cosplay.
That's a great line.
Consolidating.
Dolls happen.
Yeah, yeah. But I using the leftover material, I made like a doll version of it. So
Hmm.
I had that. And I was walking around with it because I thought, people don't know what these things, what BJDs are, but like if they see something they recognize with it,
Hmm.
But people just were like, "Oh, where did you get that Mercy doll?" They thought I'd bought it somewhere at the con. It's like,
Hmm.
no. um, but yeah, just getting them out there so people can see them is
Yeah, that's definitely the
that's what I
biggest thing. And that's what I've been doing, since day one. I've always been taking a doll or a couple dolls to cons, and I would just
mm,
walk around with them.
yeah.
And you get a lot of different people saying, "What is that? That's cool. Where did you?" A lot of people actually think that you make them. Like I've had a lot of people
Yeah.
saying, "Did you make that? That's amazing." And I'm like, no, I didn't make it. I wish I made
So
it."
what stall did you get that from?
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
"Where did you get that? Like, where's the store? Is it around here?" Like, that's how it usually started. Nowadays, like you said earlier, smart doll kind of has become mainstream. So nowadays, when
Mm.
people see me walking around with a doll, they either ask me one of two questions. They're like, "What is that?" Or they say, "Is that a smart doll?"
Right, so they know. Yeah.
So like the word about these dolls is actually getting out there and people are becoming more aware of them, but it's just funny how things change.
Yeah.
Oh, and My Lady
Yeah.
Disdain says, waving from the other side of PA. Listen, Sandy, you want to get in on this? Let me know. It's gonna be. I don't know where the town is. I forgot where the town. I think it's somewhere near Lancaster, PA, but it's on the eastern side of PA. So I think you guys are on the western side. But yeah, if you guys want to get in on this, let me know, and we can work something else to get you guys a space at the at our little area that we're gonna have there. But yeah, I hope to get more people out because I just want to grow our community at least here on the Eastern Seaboard side for people to hang out and meet up. I think it would be great.
Yeah. Would be cool. Cat's ducking out to do more editing. Back to the grindstone, Cat?
Take care, Cat.
Bye.
Bye. Loved your last video.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was just something that I like to bring up, with most of my guests that are in the doll hobby, just to find out what things are like in their area. So it's interesting to know that you have a small community there, but even more interesting to know that Cheery Doll is there. Did not know that. That is so cool.
I thought that was a known thing. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just didn't research it enough, but I always assumed that they were a Japanese company. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool. I think they travel though, don't they? I think Cheery Doll travels to
They have been overseas.
Yeah, I think they go to Idol Festival to sell their wares. So like there's this thing called Idol, and it's a big, well, I shouldn't say big. It's a fairly large gathering where all these vendors come to Japan and they just sell like all these cool doll things, whether it's like custom dolls,
I'm not sure they do.
clothings and accessories. I don't know if they go, but I thought they did because I thought I saw like their advertisements on Idol before on the Twitter page.
Yeah, there are other shops that have like Cherry in the name.
Oh, maybe I'm confusing them with a different Cheery. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But there's this one company I know called Cheery Doll, and I think that's the one that you're talking about.
Cherry Doll's Boutique is the one that I'm talking about.
Let me see.
I don't think they go by Cherry Doll.
I'm gonna Google it real quick.
But they are known for their smart doll clothes.
Cheery Doll Boutique.
And they're very pretty. They make like lots of corsets and things that are just gorgeous.
Is it an Etsy company?
Yeah.
Based in Etsy?
Yeah. I could link it in chat if you...
No, I got it. Here we go.
Okay
I found it. This one.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think, let me just change the screen here so everybody can see. Oh, so Cheery Doll Boutique. So they're a New Zealand doll company. Ah, they got nice stuff. No, this is different.
Yeah,
this is different.
Stuff is gorgeous. Like really, really pretty.
I like these corsets actually. These look really cool.
Really nice, and I can what's the word I want? The quality is great. Can confirm.
Yeah, I think Sandy might be right. The one I was thinking about was Cherry Doll. I think I got that wrong.
Doll, right, yeah.
I don't know. That's not... I can't find their site, but where is it? I don't know where they are. But yeah, I think Sandy's right. I think it's Cherry and not Cheery. I think I got them confused. But they're But yeah, there is a doll company out there called Cherry Doll. But either way, this other one that you mentioned, I didn't even know existed. So this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, no, their stuff's really, really, really pretty. Really well made. I have a lot of things from them.
Yeah, so you guys see this in chat? You need to hit up Cherry Doll Boutique. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta head this place up. They got some really cool stuff here. And I like their dolls on this top panel here. There's a Kizuna.
Yeah, so I have a couple of the one in the white wig back there, that head I bought from them, and they did the face upon it. It's very, very pretty.
I'm trying to figure out who they are. John and Sandy are good at memorizing sculpts. They probably know. But I think this one's a Kizuna. I can't tell which one this one is. Maybe a Haruka?
I think that's to customize Chi, I think, and
Oh,
the
a
one in the
Chi.
middle is was a Starlight, I think.
Hmm.
Usagi is the name they call it, and I think that's the one second from that's Miku.
Oh, yeah, this is a Dolphy Dream Miku.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this last one, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not a Dauntless, right? No.
No, is
Kanata?
it?
Maybe?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, they do a lot of face ups and things and customize their dolls. They're
Hmm.
very talented human.
I like it. It's nice. I think it's cool. So definitely check that out, guys. We learned of a new doll boutique in today's episode. Yay. All right.
Thank you, John.
So that brings us to the end of that segment, and roughly about to the end of today's show. That's pretty much everything that I had on schedule to talk about, obviously aside from our tangents that we had. So
I
unless
enjoyed the tangents.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, actually. So unless anyone has any questions in stream that you would like to ask our very lovely guest, Lovely here, then we're gonna move on to the last part of the episode. So I'll give it like a little bit of time to see if anything pops up in chat before we move on to the last segment. Crip says Chitose OG, Kizuna OG, and then I moved off the
And then
page.
you moved on
Oh,
the
hold
page,
on.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll bring it back.
I'm pretty sure it was Starlight.
I'll bring it back.
Because I remember admiring. Pretty sure the one in the middle is Starlight.
The one in the middle here. Do you know Crypt? Hashtag Tangent Hero. You gonna borrow Cat's plane? That's if you can find it first, Joe. You have to find it because
No
remember it's
unicorn.
invisible. Corn asks how you got so cute.
My answer is no you. No further questions.
And I think Lavely said this one is Miku. So the one second to the right was Miku. And the last one over here, I can't put my finger on it. I want to say it's Kanata, but I really don't know. I'm really bad at memorizing sculpts.
So am I. I can't remember. I only know the others because I've seen them post them and say what they are.
Yeah, exactly. And Danny Choo made a post actually one day where he said he had like 15 sculpts and then he named them all. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't know there were that many. Like there's all these identifications and all this kind of
I'm not
stuff.
gonna be able to hear you. Please hold.
All right.
I mean, you don't have to hold.
But yeah, I think he was saying that there's like, the COS, the
Your eyes are wonky.
V01
You're
or
gonna have to
something.
forgive me, John.
There's like all these different sculpts I didn't
Her
even
new
know
body's in a
about.
box. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Probably interrupted you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So John asked if I have a Grail doll, and I do, and I have them, and they are blank. I need to paint them, but it's beside the point. So, so when I first discovered BJDs, right, one of the people who I watched was Heather Sparkles, who goes by other names on social media these days, and who knows what happened to their doll videos. I managed to save a playlist of them, but whatever. Their dolls are gorgeous, and they had a Jury 05. So these were like, so they were from Cerberus Project, which I think
Oh,
is
I
like
know that one. Yeah.
connected. It's like an old so they're like I did know this at one point. They're a sculptor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they worked out of Lutz and Fairyland, but they like sculpt. They did sculpts for either company, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Juries are dolls that would be what's the word I want? You'd have to spend a bunch of money, like promo heads, I guess.
Okay.
You spend a lot of money, and then if you do, you get the promotional head, which was, they called them Juries, Juri.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of looked similar-ish. But yeah, the one from 2005, this person, Heather Sparkles, and something about them, completely different from any of my other dolls, gorgeous, Grail, love them. How am I going to get it? It's from 2005. Anyway, I found someone who had just the head, and it's
Hmm.
probably like the most expensive one I own because they're really hard to get. Because obviously you can only get them, you
Right.
can't just buy it. You have to buy a bunch of other
Right.
stuff, and then
Right.
and people don't. People were like buying dolls to get the juries. It was a whole thing. Anyway, I have my Jury 05. She has like a lock key mechanism on her neck to attach her head, but the body, I've not had the body that goes with it, but it's in the box from Cherry Dolls Boutique, so I'll open it at some point too. Anyway, what I've currently done to attach her head knocks her eyes out of whack. So her eyes are wonky. I'm warning you, don't judge me for it. This is her. And she's gorgeous. Her
Oh,
hair just went in my
is
mouth.
the ears
But
is the ears sculpted to look like elf ears, or is that an
yeah,
attachment?
yeah, she's got Alfea's
Oh, it's
sculpted.
cute.
She's got really big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They are wonky, don't judge me, it's fine. It's because of how I've attached her head. But just something about this doll, I love it. Ignore the
Mm-hmm.
wonky eyes. I'm sorry, I know it's distracting. But so this is my Grail and I have her. I'm very fortunate to have her. I've had her for a while. I've not painted her yet,
Mm-hmm.
partially because I've not had a body to put her on and I didn't have a wig until recently.
Well, I
YouTube
mean,
doesn't know I have this wig because I've not.
congratulations for
Thanks.
getting your Grail. I mean, no, it's true.
Yeah.
That's why we call them Grail dolls, because for the most part, they're really difficult to get, and you may not even get them. So the fact that you got her is amazing.
She's so hard to get as well. Like I really lucked out. Someone let me know that someone was selling her,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So I need to open this freaking box so I can get a body that should actually also be a good color match for her because the one she's on right now isn't really. And then her eyes will work. She's just kind of been. I've not been able to give her time. I've not been motivated to because I've not been able to put her together.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of face up am I interested in? Good question, John. So I part of me really wants to try and imitate the style that Heather had, and I've called her Heather because Heather Sparkles was the person who had the one that I saw way back
So she
when.
inherited the name.
Yeah. They had their dolls in a very like pastel Lolita kind of vibe,
Mm-hmm.
which I've attempted and I've never been successful with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, every time I try and like get a doll to do that style, I end up not vibing with it, and then next thing they're like just wearing black. Jelly is the exception because Jelly is just she's holding on to all of like the pastel clothes. You can't see her. I'm pointing at her. She's over that way. But yeah. So I guess part of me wants to emulate that, John. So I guess like a softer style,
Mm-hmm.
but she's got this blue wig, so I guess with like blue tones.
Mm.
It's been so long, I'm not
Is
really
that
sure.
is that the same eye color that you want to keep, or do you think you're going to change the eye color?
My eye situation is a mess. The eyes I have, I've either came with dolls and I've swapped them round, or there was like someone was selling a bundle of secondhand eyes and I'm like yoink, okay, and then I just
Mm-hmm.
distribute.
Mm-hmm.
This is so she doesn't have nothing, and it's not really what I want to have her to have in the long run, but it's all I have that fits her
I
because
see.
her eyes are big. Yeah. So
Do you know by
no,
chance like the size? Is it like 24 millimeter? Because you say they're big, or
oh,
you're not really
I
sure.
can't. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm not good at pulling numbers out of my butt.
Well, usually like
um,
22 to 24 millimeters is around the same size as smart doll eyes.
yeah. I guess it would probably be comparable. Um, if I Google it, is it going to come up? Not sure. Um, yeah. A lot of people are 18 millimeters.
Oh, 18s? Okay.
Yeah. Um, that's what this Google thing says. Google's never lied to
Yeah,
me
no, of
before.
course not. Google knows everything. That's why.
Google does, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my Grail. She'll have a body soon whenever I get around to
Well,
opening
she
the.
has a body. She just hasn't switched yet, right?
Yeah, it's still in a box. But yeah, she's gorgeous. And it's something she's one of those dolls that a lot of people really don't like because she's sculpted to have somewhat of a smile going on and
Hmm.
her eyes are very much like smiling.
Really? People don't like that? I think she looks
Yeah,
lovely.
some people don't. I mean, like some people dig smiling dolls, some people dig more like neutral. It
I see.
depends, but
Okay.
But the fact that she's not even got a face up and she's pretty, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
She's just, yeah. Anyway, she is what, like, I fell in love with. But and I'm very glad to
Well,
have.
eventually, when you do get around to doing her face up, I'd love to see it.
I will definitely share. Sylvie says wonky eyes are endearing. Thank you, Sylvie. Mhm.
All right, so
Yeah.
if that seems to be everything, I don't think we have any more questions in chat. So we're going to move on to the last section of today's episode. So now, usually in every episode of Beyond the Doll, at the very end, either myself or my guests will participate in what I like to call Shizusan's Anime Corner. So because Lavely is my guest for today's episode, she got to pick which animes that she would like to talk about. So first on the list is going to be this one.
So, and I just realized, Yuzu-san, initially the dream doll was going to be before this, so it was going to be part of my tangent, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um, so D Gray Man is like, so it's a shonen. I put it in the same vein as like, the long running shonens, right? Like you have Naruto and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Except this one is not. People don't know about it,
Mm.
and it's not perfect, but I love it. It's I it's probably the franchise I'm most invested in as far as like I mean, I have an Ellen eater bag. I guess that's a clue over there. But yeah, so to tell you a little bit about what it's about, it does suffer from the, anime with a weird name that doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You say D Grey Man, and most people do a double take. They're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, it's a story about it follows a boy called Alan, and yes, John Alan, exactly. I used to say that on the regular when referring to Alan. I saw that post those comments from earlier. So it follows Alan, who is really just had a rough time of it, right? In this world, it's set in like old timey England, I want to say.
Okay.
And there are I guess demons, they call them akuma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there are exorcists who help to I guess like slay these akuma.
Okay.
And they it's a classic good guy bad guy situation. There's big bad who's leading all of the akuma, and then there's the black order who are trying to defeat them. But of course there's lots of like rough is an understatement, Corn. Yeah, I know. Alan's been through some stuff, the exorcists have this weapon called innocence that's the only thing that can harm the akuma.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that makes Alan different and special is that his like innocence weapon is like embedded in his arm.
Okay, so it's not like a separate attachment. It's actually in his arm,
It's
like
in
it's a
his
part
arm.
of
It
it.
is his arm.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I won't say too much more. Other than that, it's really strong with its characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's so the writer Hoshino is just the amount of things that are built. Like there are a lot of characters, and they all have meaning. They all have their moments, and they all have their throwbacks. And it's very well written in that way.
Mm-hmm.
It did suffer a little bit from she had as far as I'm aware, it was like a wrist injury or like some kind of injury that stopped her from being able to draw. So there was a part where the manga just stopped, and the anime was happening at the same time, and then it kind of stopped.
Mm.
And she got a team on board to start to help with the drawing, and the art
Mm-hmm.
style changed slightly, but it got going again. But she's still very much the head of it, and wants it to stay true to what she wants it to be. So the production of the manga is very slow.
Mm. But it's still
So
is
yeah.
it still ongoing kind of thing, or
It is still ongoing. I've kind of not been it's so slow that I'm kind of waiting so that there's going to be enough for me
Hmm.
to like read a
Oh,
fair
yeah,
amount
yeah, yeah.
of.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, the
But
D Gray Man is one of those shows that I've heard about, but I've actually never seen. Like I know it
mm,
exists, and I know that there's a huge fan base out for it, but I actually never got around to watching it. But after you describing it, I'm gonna have. I guess I'll have to put this on my queue now, and
mm.
and witness it for myself and see what it's all about. But it sounds
Yeah, the
interesting.
manga's probably on hiatus, Corn. It's on like a it's pretty much on a hiatus every other whatever. But it's I as far as the animation quality, John, it is an older anime. It's
Yeah.
not
I think it's like what,
great.
early 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It the action if you're watching it for the action scenes are disappointing. Unlike another one that's going to come up in my list soon, whereas the action scenes are mwah. The action scenes in this, I'm sorry, it's not much to yeah. But and it suffers from that the I don't I
John says,
you know how
"How
people
long
will
is that
say
queue?"
how long is that queue,
Yeah,
Shizusan?
because John knows. John knows because we talked about it before. I have this long queue of anime that I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to finish because I don't have as much time as I would like to watch anime. But
Nerd, yeah, relatable.
when I do get a chance to watch them, I try to watch as much. I'm still trying to finish a lot. So the queue, if you go to my queue, I think I have maybe.
Oh, it's a physical queue that you've
Yeah, like if you go on like Crunchyroll, like you can do a watch list, just like on Netflix, you can put like a
ah
my list. So I have like a list, and I think I'm at like 50 or something right now of shows that
mm-hmm.
I still have to finish, but I keep adding to it, and I just never get to finish all of them. But one day.
One day. But yeah, as I was saying, like the anime has filler in it. I mean I don't want to be like read the manga instead, but it is I mean it's always the case, right?
Hmm.
I to say that, oh, you got to watch a certain amount before it gets good. Like I hate that, but like I recognize it for what it is. It's not the best thing I've ever watched, but it
Hmm.
is the story that I hold dearest to my heart,
Hmm.
like it is a very good story. The characters are very strong. It has a lot of themes about like that are very dark,
Hmm.
about like, loss and grief and that kind of thing. Um there's theme in most things I've watched tend to if they don't make me
Well, you
cry, they're
said
not.
you said that the
Yeah.
manga is still kind of ongoing, but it's slow rolling right
Mm.
now.
It is
Is
slow rolling,
is
yeah.
the anime though done? Like, did they end the anime or?
No. So it got to like I want to say episode 100 and something rather,
Hmm.
and then it just stopped because one thing Hoshino was clear on, she didn't want it to do what like Full Metal Alchemist did, right? Where it finished on its own and went on a tangent and had a different ending.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
didn't want that. So it just kind of stopped with the thought that they'd pick it up later. It did have a season 2, which just continues and did
Hmm.
like a later arc, and that was more recently.
Hmm.
It was great because there's some merch came out because there's no merch ever for Do Grey Man. I have Androids though, which is great. I have an Alan Android and it's great. But yeah. um it's not finished. It kind of that season 2 ended at the end of that arc.
Hmm.
And like maybe they'll pick it up again. Like it didn't close. If you want an ending, you have to read it and that's still ongoing. So
Mm,
yeah.
I see. I see. Awesome.
So yeah. I and before we go, I really should mention that's where my name comes from.
Wait, LavilyDay?
Yeah, so well, Lavely. So there is a character. Actually, I could probably. Sorry, I have stuff everywhere around me. I'll see if I can
That's okay.
grab a couple dolls off my table. If you hear a bang, no, we'll be fine. Let me see if I can grab something. This is the closest thing I can see with the character on it. Okay, headphones back on. So there is a character.
Hmm.
Also, fun fact, they've like not actually been because the manga's so slow. We've not seen this character in years. Last we saw them, they were like tied up somewhere anyway. But there's this character called Lavi. This is Lavi here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Lavi, Lavi, LavilyDay.
Ah.
This character is Lena Lee. I guess technically you could say it's a ship name. That was somewhat accidental, but yes. Yeah.
So you put what,
So
you merged
Lavi,
it?
ish. It kind of is a happy accident that it's kind of a ship name, but
Mm.
it came from this character,
Mm.
Lavi, and I've just put ly on the end of it,
Mhm.
so that's why it's Lavi, because this character is Lavi, Lavi.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Oh, good
So
night,
that's
Gabrielle.
why. Yeah.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Oh, that's interesting. Yay, another part of your origin story. How did
Yes.
LavilyDay come about? It's from D. Gray Man.
Yeah, and then of course it sounds like lovely. Have a lovely day, lovely day. It just works out. Yeah.
That's interesting. So let's go on to the next show, which is
I think I remember what's next.
Kill la Kill.
Yes.
Now this one is an interesting choice that you put on here because I know that Kill la Kill is pretty popular, but I'm gonna say something controversial right now
Go for
because
it. Go.
I people told me that this show is really good. So I watched the first episode of it and then I couldn't
Mhm.
watch the rest of it anymore. And it's not because the story was bad or anything like that. It's just I have like a little pet peeve about me when I watch anime, and as if I can't fall in love with the animation style, I can't finish watching the
Ah.
show. And Kill la Kill is one of those shows where the animation style is very unique to this
Mm.
show, where I couldn't get into it because it wasn't my cup of tea for like the way they animated the show.
Sam's in chat saying yes, pop off. Yeah, so if I didn't put this, Sam might be disappointed. Sam will like go on record saying this is best anime. All animes move over. This is yeah.
I'm not allowed to talk anymore.
um but yeah, so it's interesting because like its art style is part of what like I would say is like a draw for it if people like it,
Mhm.
but of course you're allowed to not like it. It's so Trigger is the animation studio that's
Right.
the same people who did Gurren Lagann,
Mhm.
and I can't remember it, but Tyler mentioned something. It's on Netflix. It's also Studio Trigger. It's very much that's the art style,
Mhm.
yeah. But why I put it on here? So the action scenes, there are a lot of them. They are very entertaining to watch. It very much is exaggerated as far as like it has a lot of like physical comedy in
Mhm.
it, which is just great.
Mhm.
It is. I would call it a parody of fan service anime. It
Okay.
knows what it's doing. Clothes are sentient, and
Clothes are
it plays
sentient.
into that. Yeah. It's a good time. Kind of switch your brain off if you have to, because it's a bit ridiculous, but like it's fun. It
Mm.
is fun. And oh, Fooly Cooly is cool, John. I never saw all of it. I'm sorry.
I
I need
yeah,
you.
I've never seen all of Fooly Cooly. I've only seen like a couple episodes here and there. I never got
And
to
it had
finish
a
it.
remake, didn't it? Or a
Yeah, I think
remake?
they had some kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but wasn't there some kind of like a reboot or something? Or
Core never got to the remake.
oh, so there is a
Interesting.
remake because I feel like that sounds so familiar.
I
Like
did
there's
see
like
something, yeah.
a
Or
newer.
reboot, remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, Kill la Kill, it's not gonna like it's not making any big statements, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's not trying to be too clever, but it is self-aware, it is fun, it has good action scenes. Um the like chemistry between like what I would say the two main characters is just hilarious, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just fun and
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, and
We don't talk about the
Satsuki's
remake.
Satsuki's hot, so
Is
you
that the
know.
girl with the sword in the picture?
Um, they do have a sword.
Uh,
They're scissors. That it's
oh, those are
one half of a
scissors.
pair of
Sorry.
scissors. But there's the one with the long black hair.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the top right
Oh,
of the
okay.
poster. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Satsuki.
that's Satsuki. Okay, I thought it was the one
But
like right in the middle.
Ryuko, I've not watched it in a hot minute, so I'm probably butchering the names and getting them wrong. But yeah, Ryuko is the main character in the middle, and then Mako to her right. Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
chemistry, and Mako is just like comedic relief character
Mm-hmm.
on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've heard nothing but good things. There's like a huge fan base out for Kill la Kill. It's just like my own little like pet peeve thing. Like I couldn't get around the art style, which is weird
Yeah, it's very
because
exaggerated.
like it's not like every show that I watch has like this amazing art style. It's just for some reason this one kind of like I don't know, it couldn't jive with me. Like there's a show that I absolutely love, and it's an American based show by Rooster Teeth. It's called Ruby. Red,
Ruby,
white,
yeah,
black,
I still
yellow.
need to see more of that.
And if you watch it from the beginning, like the first season, it has horrible animation. Like it's really, really bad CGI.
That's all I've seen of it. I need to see more.
It's absolutely terrible. But the reason why I love it is because I feel like that terrible CGI is part of the charm of it. Kind of like how you're saying that the art style of Kill la Kill is like the charm of the show, you know, of how it is. So I very much understand what you mean by that, but I just for some reason I couldn't get my head around it. But then again, like I was younger then when I tried to watch it, so maybe I should try watching it again, and you know, see how it goes. You know, give it like a second shot. But I do know that there's a huge fan base for Kill la Kill. It's just I couldn't at the time when I was watching it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Corn says one day I'll watch Ruby. It's, you know, I thought it was good, but it did have very bad CGI. The later seasons, I think they're up on season 6 for Ruby now. The later seasons, the CGI got much better. It's much more like it looks like a real a real show now. But it also has lost the charm to Ruby, is because the original creator of Ruby actually died.
They passed
Yeah,
away,
so like the rest of the story is now, you know, another team or a group of people that's making it, which it's still a good story, but it lost some of the earlier, I guess, comedic parts to it, which was very much so the creator side, and it also lost the video game aspect. So
yes,
the earlier versions of Ruby, the fighting scenes looked very much like Tekken or Soul Calibur. Like the way the characters would fight, like so reminds you of video game. But now when you watch it, all the fighting scenes like just look like a regular anime. So like they kind of got rid of those cool like inspired video game fighting scenes, and now it just looks like a regular anime fighting style or fighting scene style. Korn says it's like Mob Psycho. It's a unique arc style, but it suits the story.
Yeah. I would say Kill la Kill's art style does suit its story. Lots of very over-the-top visual effects too. Is it 1 a.m. for you, John? Oh my gosh,
yes. It is 1 in the morning.
7 p.m. for me.
Yeah, John and I are in the same time zone, so it's like 1 in the morning for us.
I told you I could talk.
No, that's okay. I mean, oh well, I don't know if Chad agrees that it's okay, but I mean, this is not the longest episode. I mean, the longest one I've had was over 4 hours. So I mean, we're at 3 hours 16 minutes, but it's not a competition, people.
No. I could win if I wanted to.
Well, you do have a leg up because it's the middle of the day for you. It's like super late for us.
I had a late lunch as well, so I'm good.
So you're energized.
Yeah.
Okay, so John says, I hate obvious CGI, although don't mind as much in most idol shows. And then Sylvana says, almost everything I know about it from a video essay about it.
Oh, for Ruby, I think, yeah.
I think they're referring to Ruby.
Oh, true, John. It's not my fault. It's Korn's fault.
I'm starting to learn. I'm picking up things subtly that pretty much everything is Korn's fault, is what I'm hearing.
Hey, yeah. We have a command in chat where it's !blame, and it comes up. So I've LavilyBot, and they come up with a thing. It's like, how dare you, Korn? Or like, what did Korn do this time? Sometimes it's like, actually, no, it wasn't Korn. Yeah.
And it's random, right?
Korn.
It's like a random thing.
My hug emote is me hugging Korn, so
Aww.
We love Korn. He has the juice, you know.
All right, moving on to the next show on your list is Mushi. I am very interested to hear about Mushi. This is one of those shows.
So it's Mushishi. Have you heard of Mushishi?
Yes, I've heard. Like I said, this is another one of those shows where I've heard a lot of good things about it, but unfortunately, I never got a chance to get around to watching it. So I really want to hear your take, like what this is about, because I'm curious.
So like I've started a rewatch of it lately too, and it's just I don't know if I can like say anything that will do it justice, but like it is a breath of fresh air as far as anime goes. You're not going to see any fan service here, okay? It is very much just a chill like airy, mysterious kind of like journey, folk tale. Just yeah, it's really cool. So it follows this Mushi master Ginkgo,
Mm-hmm.
who's the one you see in the poster there. I was trying to find like a picture to give you for this, and honestly, there's not much in way of like posters or
Mm-hmm.
whatever that exists. Like there's some screen caps and things, but I wanted something with the title on it. um, or something that like captures the vibe.
Uh-huh.
But so it follows Ginkgo as he journeys throughout the world. It's very like, old Japan countryside villages, that kind of thing.
Is it in the
Um,
past though, or it's just in an
um,
older village kind of setting?
he travels across like all of Japan, I would
Mm-hmm.
assume, right?
Okay.
And it's not modern at all. There's not cities, so it's set back in, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and in this universe or whatever, there are these creatures called mushi, and they kind of describe them as these like fantastical kind of mysterious things that are like they describe it as like, so you've got what life evolved from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mushi are like, and so if you've got like the branches of a tree where everything's evolving and it's branching off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mushi are like the roots, like
Okay.
behind all that. So they're like there, and they a lot general public can't see them,
Mm-hmm.
but they interact with the world in a multitude of ways. Some positive, some negative. Usually, they have some kind of impact that is not understood by people and has, effects. And Ginkgo goes around and helps these people. It's episodic, but it's non-linear, but there
Mm.
is somewhat of a slight overarching story with some repeating characters. But it's just there is some, and so recommended it to Corn, and Corn started watching it. I kind of forgot ish. There are some things that are kind of body horror esque in it that if you're not expecting, kind of come from left field, but or maybe not left field, but the tone of it is all very like everyone talks in a very calm, measured way,
Mm-hmm.
which can make it seem. I've always interpreted it as it makes it chill,
Mm-hmm.
and it's serious, but it's yeah. Mushi, you think translates to bugs? Yeah, that would track. All of them kind of a little bug like. Um, but yeah, they just have different effects. Like there's one, for example, and the way they explain them and introduce these little stories that's episodic is like a folk tale,
Mm-hmm.
and you could very easily see how you could like imagine it in like real life, the way that they work it in with like this folk tales. I wish I could pull an example off my brain. I should, because I've been rewatching it, but like
Is it like a
um
mystery type of show though?
kind of
Okay.
um although like at the episode level, right? So there'll be something that's happening and it's like what's going on, what's causing this weird phenomenon,
Mm-hmm.
and like and then Ginkgo helps, I guess, solve it and fix the problem and educate people about these mushi. um So like one thing that some of the mushi do is one type of them, because they're like a whole, like, you've got the tree, right, with
Mm-hmm.
all living beings on it, and you've got an equally big root system, that's the mushi. So they're all different. um there's one that um eats sound. So
Okay.
like, and they kind of, and it looks like a little snail, and there's like a thing in your ear that, if you know anatomy or whatever, that's like a little snail, and they can sometimes will find their way home in your ear, and they'll eat the sound, so then you're deaf, right? You can't
Mm-hmm.
hear anything.
Ah.
And like so there's like people who so they live in places that are quiet because they eat the sound or whatever, and all this kind of thing, and these people have been going into caves and getting them, and he's helped cure them. But then there's this other one that is slightly related to it but not, and is causing a different kind of problem with someone, and it's just very interesting and
Mm.
very chill and airy, and a little bit unsettling sometimes, but very satisfying when it like, yeah, I don't know, it's just, I love it. And the music is lovely, and the scenes are like, it's very pretty
Mm-hmm.
as well. um
I'll
And
definitely
like
have
there's
to
no
check it
no
out.
filler in here. No filler, no fan service, just pure storytelling.
Mm. Well, that's good. Because I don't know anybody that really likes filler episodes, unless we're
Right.
talking about Full Metal Panic, because then, because that show that I talked about with Kitten Cat Shop, that show has like one
Mm,
whole season that's filler, but it's really good. Like it's like pure
right.
comedy. But other than that, like usually people don't like filler episodes for the most part.
Hmm.
But it sounds
Yeah.
interesting. Like I said, it's one of those shows that I've heard a lot about. I just never got around to watching it. So another one to add to the queue.
The good thing about this one is you could watch one episode and you still get a story
Hmm.
that's like started and finished. And then you can like if you don't have time to watch the rest of it, that's fine. You know, it's
Hmm.
episodic for the most part.
Yeah,
So
right now I'm currently watching Attack on Titan with my daughter
nice.
because
Don't finish that. I don't think I finished season 3 of that. I got very far, but then I
she
stopped.
asked to watch it, and I was like, I don't know, it's a little bit violent, so like
A little bit.
so I started
That's
watching
fair
some
enough.
of it, and I was like, I was like, she watched ReZero, so I was like, if she could watch ReZero, I think Attack on Titan is on the same level. So we started watching it. So right now, me and her are in season 2 right now.
Hmm.
So that's how far we are. And then once we finish that show, then I guess it's not done yet. They're still doing season 4 from what I hear, or like movies or something to end it up. But I guess once I finish that, like we have to pick another show. So I don't know. We'll
You've got a few to choose from. But yeah, John said basically it's a vibe. Yeah, it's a vibe for
And
sure.
then Gabrielle says, "Gem in the cosmic spiral groove." Wait, Gabrielle, didn't you say you were going to bed before? Okay,
Yeah.
so then that brings us to the last show, which again, I am very interested in hearing about this one because this looks cool.
Yeah, so once again, love this one. Corn's probably like, oh yeah, makes sense this is here. Corn came to stay and we watched it all. And yes. So Shinsekai Yori, or like English translation is From the New World.
Mm-hmm.
How I describe it to people is that it's very good. But no, so it follows a group of people or children
Okay.
as they age and grow up in this utopian society, this like perfect society, perfect town. And it's based off of a novel, not a short novel, based off of a full-on novel. There is a lot
Mm-hmm.
on here, a lot of information. It is very well written. It's a novel. You know it's gonna be good, right? It's got a lot of work-ins and payoffs, and it's yeah. Um, this utopian society, though. So, like, I guess if you imagine, people all of the people have this ability called like cantus or whatever they call it in whatever translation you choose to watch, and it's like a psychic ability, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
telekinesis, they could fly depending how they manifest it, like literally just like power that they can use in a multitude of ways, literally as long as they can visualize it they can do it.
Wow, that sounds crazy.
um yeah. Now, the society is built around this fact, and I don't want to say too much more because how they reveal it is very much the yeah. Um
No
at the very
spoilers.
start, yeah, no spoilers. So at the very start you see how the children are perceived
Mm-hmm.
by the adults and you are on their side, right? You're like what as you're watching as they are kids, you're like, and I mean, I guess this happens in episode 1, so I'm sure I can say, but like kids go missing
Mm-hmm.
and it is normal. They just disappear, they vanish,
Mm-hmm.
and this is normal.
That's
And
weird.
no one
That's
seems to
weird that it's
notice.
normal. I mean.
Yep. And these kids are like, what is going on? And then as they age in the society, you come to realize all the inner workings of this society, and it flips. You go from being like, I'm a kid who doesn't know things, who's interpreting this and is, having feelings, to I'm an adult, like, I don't know what this means, and I have feelings, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it very much, yeah, I don't want to say too much more because spoilers, but it's really good. It is heavy. It is, Yeah, it does have
So
drops in animation quality.
what would you categorize it as? It's not. It doesn't sound like it's an action show.
I'm
Um,
gonna see what it. I think it's like drama horror.
Drama horror.
Uh,
Okay.
I want to. I don't know if it is actually horror. Let's see. What is it? Would my anime list have like genres? Yeah, drama, horror, mystery, sci-fi, supernatural are the genres listed on my
Oh,
anime
that sounds
list.
cool. I like those kind of
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. It's yeah.
There was a show
But
that,
it's
not to go too far off topic, but there was a show that I liked that I didn't think I was gonna like, but it was actually really cool. It was called Beautiful Bones, which is like
ah.
it's like a murder mystery detective thing, but the catch of it all was that the person solving the murders was a lady that likes skeletons. So she was
Huh.
like, she like, she could tell how a person died or what happened based upon the skeleton. Like, and she likes having skeletons around her house of like everything. Almost like a curator of a museum, like how they would have like dinosaurs and stuff, and they put the bones together. Like that was like her
Mm,
hobby thing. And there was like a whole
yeah.
show centered around that, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I was actually pretty cool. It was a little gruesome, a little dark, a little murder mystery to it. So this
No,
sounds
that's
like it would,
cool.
like the genre of this sounds interesting. So I might want to check this out then.
Yeah, there are points. So, like, I was watching this as it was coming out, which was 2012.
Hmm.
And there were points where people did drop off of it because, like, they weren't expecting it to do certain things.
Hmm.
Um, but it all has meaning. It does dump a lot of lore, a lot of information on you. That can be like Claude and I marathoned it. I'd seen it a few times at this point. I get something new from it every time I watch it. I notice something different. There's it can be a bit overwhelming if you do marathon it, but also at certain points you kind of feel like you need to.
Is it a
It's
long show?
yeah. 25 episodes.
Oh, okay. That's
So
not bad.
not super long.
No,
Yeah, we
that's
marathoned it in what, 2 days, Corn?
two
With like
days.
breaks, obviously.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. But no, and it has once again I won't say because spoilers. It has like some ties to things that I am interested, which helped me kind of get into it.
Mm,
But like you don't realize that till the very end.
mm.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See?
You'll have to let me know what you think about it, John. Yeah, we got it knocked out in a day. Was it a day?
The whole
I guess
day?
like
Wow.
one night and then the next day. Yeah.
I definitely have to add that to my list too. See, my list grows with every guest. My list
Midday
grows.
till 2:30 a.m. Yeah, that's true. But no,
I remember
I
when I
rank
used to
it
have
a
energy like
top.
that. Like when I was
Oh, we were dead walking the next day. Dead walking.
when I was younger, I remember the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, right?
I still haven't
You
seen
haven't
it,
seen, but you know of it.
but
Like
I
you've
know
heard
it.
of it,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
That used to be like one of my loves back in the day. Now I really couldn't care for it that much nowadays, but when I
Hmm.
was younger, I used to really love it, and I used to watch it over and over and over. I don't know why. And I remember I
Hmm.
marathoned the whole thing in like one day, and
Hmm.
that was insane. Like I'll never do that again because it's too much sitting, too much watching,
It's a
like
lot, yeah.
too much information.
Hmm.
I can't believe you guys did it too.
It's good. I don't want to like overhype things, and I mean, it might not be some people's cup of tea because it
Hmm.
does get quite intense.
Hmm.
Um, it's one that like you want to have a chance to kind of like collect your thoughts at the end of it, and having someone to bounce ideas off of after each episode is not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm.
Um, because it's one of those ones where being based off of a novel, it has a lot of things that like foreshadow, that link in, that build up. Um, yeah, it's
So is it done after that one season, or is there like
yep,
a second
finished,
season
complete
kind of thing?
story,
Oh, it's a
all
complete
done.
story. Okay. No
Yep,
movies afterwards
no
or
movie, nope,
OVAs. Okay.
no.
All right.
They if you Google it, there are like light novel versions of it. I guess they tried to like
Mm-hmm.
capitalize off it further, and I have not looked into those, and I don't recommend people doing it because they look a bit naff. But yeah. Mm.
All right, cool. So now I have 4 shows added to my list now.
I tried to choose some that have not come up on previous Beyond the Dolls,
Oh my
and
god.
ones that like you might not have heard of
Did
before.
you don't tell me you actually watched like every single ending
Yeah, I've
just
been watching them
just
for
to
a while. No, just in general. I've not seen all of them, but
No,
like
no,
I've
no. I what I meant was like I hope you didn't like binge watch all the endings of every episode just to make sure
no. This is
that
off of my memory.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
I feel
I
bad
mean,
cuz all of my episodes are so long.
no, I try and watch them when I can. I get behind sometimes, but
No, that's okay. I'm glad for the support and everybody that finds it interesting. So, no, that's good.
good fun.
Well,
Might
thank
get
you.
something to watch as well at the end.
Thank you for participating in my little anime corner. I that definitely did open my eyes to a couple anime that I haven't seen. So, and especially Kill la Kill.
Nice.
I'll have to give Kill la Kill another shot, or else Korn's gonna get really mad at me now.
Or Sam.
Or Sam.
Yes. Mm.
So I might have to give
Maybe
that.
Corn. Maybe both.
I have to give it another shot. Let me see. What's chat saying? I would like to have more time to digest every episode, but marathoning it definitely works. Yeah, when you marathon a show, it is hard to digest, and you do miss certain things. I feel like when you marathon, rather than watching it like episodically, like where you watch one a week or something like that.
And it's one of those shows too, where like if you watch it again, knowing how it knowing the end, you pick up on more things too.
It's kind of like Inception in a way.
Yeah.
I had to watch this Inception a couple times to understand what the heck was going on.
Corn said that, nah, he'll get upset if you don't watch Bob Psycho. Looking at me. Okay, yeah, I'll get there, buddy.
I will get there too. I haven't seen Mob Psycho either. So, I mean...
I've seen most of it, just not the recent stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen it at all. So, this is another reason for Korn to get mad at me. I didn't watch Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
All right, so then we go to our last part of the episode, which is the Dream Doll section. So for those that are not familiar with the show, is Dream Dolls basically we pick a character that we'd always want to see in doll form, and we discuss it and talk about it. So for today's episode, Lavely picked this character from her very favorite show, which is Ellen, right? Ellen is his name?
Yeah, Ellen from
Ellen
D. Grey Man.
From D. Grey Man.
Alan!
So, Lavely's choice, if you can talk
also
about
good night,
it.
John. Sorry.
Oh, John's heading out? Okay, good night, John. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks for coming to the stream. So Lavely's choice is this character. So please explain if you were to make one. Oh, well, actually, not if you were. You actually did make one. So this is your own custom.
Yeah. I love this character. If it wasn't already obvious, I could show more evidence, but I don't think I think you get the idea. His eyes are very shiny. It's fine. Yeah, when I saw Smart Dolls Fuzaku, I immediately was like, "Oh, that could be Ellen." I wanted to have Ellen as a doll since I started in the hobby. At one point, I had I got a little MSD, so well, no, it was a YoSD. It was even smaller.
Oh wow, yeah, the YoSDs are really small.
Yeah, size doll, and I customized it as Ellen, but it wasn't a good fit. I ended up selling him on. But yeah, so I was always interested in having an Ellen doll, and when I saw Suzaku, I thought, yes, I can see this.
Yeah, I see it.
Well,
I can see at least from this, picture that you provided here, I could see the similarities. It's not exact, but it's there.
Yeah. Especially as well. I provided Shizusan with a bunch of pictures of Ellen. This is a screenshot from the anime, the first season. Ellen does age a little as it goes on, and the art style develops slightly more into this kind of vibe. He kind of matures a little bit. So I guess it's like cheating maybe a little bit, because it's like, in my mind, this is a good Ellen, but also.
Well, what for the one that you have in your hands, the one that you customize yourself? What did you use as the base for the head? Do you
This
remember?
is Suzaku.
Oh, it is a Suzaku.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally misunderstood. I thought I was under the impression that the Suzaku is like the head that you would like to use, but the one that you
No,
have,
this
you
is
use
it.
something else.
No, this
Oh.
is it.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's my
I
bad.
literally altered my sleep schedule to be up for the duration of the day that Suzaku was going to be released
Hmm.
so that I could make sure I got him.
I can't
Yeah.
remember. Was Suzaku one of those releases from Smart Doll that went really fast? Because I think
In
most of
the
them go
end, it
fast,
didn't
but
go.
yeah.
Yeah, in the end, it wasn't as fast as like I feared it would be.
Hmm.
I think there ended up being maybe like five, if there were multiple minutes, right? So
Hmm.
like if I hadn't been sitting there with like my page on an auto refresher, I probably would have been okay.
Right.
But I was really worried about missing out. So I literally slept at a weird time so I could be up at a weird time so I
Hmm.
could be up for the duration of the day in
Hmm.
Japan so that he was scheduled to be
Oh,
out.
are you
Yeah.
guys in the same time zone, or is it a different time zone between New Zealand and Japan? I have no idea.
Different time zone, yeah.
How much are you like ahead or behind
I
them?
could not tell you off the top of
Oh,
my
okay,
head.
okay.
Um yeah, I could like Google it. Time zone NZ to Japan. Typing with one hand. Let's see. So it is wait, why is it? Oh, we're 4 hours ahead. There we go.
Oh, you're 4 hours ahead of them.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's 7:30 p.m. here now, and it's 3:30 p.m. in
So
Japan.
yeah, okay. So usually when they release stuff, it's later at night for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because usually for me, it's weird that it works out that way. Usually for me on the East Coast, when Danny releases stuff, I think it's the morning for him or the afternoon for him.
Mm.
And
It
then
sometimes varies.
yeah, and then for
Sometimes
me,
it's just
it's usually like around like 10 p.m. or midnight for me. When I
mm-hmm.
see those posts come up. But then I guess in later in the days, sometimes he does it at 2 in the morning. So it really depends when he releases things. But
Yeah.
it's never in like my morning. It's always sometime in the evening for me.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was,
Hmm.
covering all bases,
Right.
available for any potential time.
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's only gonna get worse, because of the popularity of Smart Doll. So there's just so much more
Mm.
people trying to get at the doll the minute that it releases.
Yeah. I mean, this is the only time I've tried to get something that's like
Hmm.
on release or
Hmm.
limited in some way with Smart Doll. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you actually, okay, so now I understand this a little bit better. You actually got a Suzaku and made it
Mm-hmm.
into Ellen. Okay, so that's
If anyone wants Suzaku's full set wig, hair, shoes, outfit, let me know. I've been like trying to sell it. Well, not very actively, but because, Alan, people are like, what about the doll? I'm like, no, he's mine. You're not getting him ever.
and
Here's my Alan.
that's actually a pretty common thing. Like a lot of people fall in love with the sculpt of a doll in order to make it into
Mm,
another character more so than the actual character itself. That happens quite often. I see that happen a lot.
mm,
And then so I don't know this character obviously because I said, like I said before, I never watched D Gray Man, but I wanted to give my thoughts in if I were to create a custom D Gray Man, what I would use. And since Lavely used the smart doll, I decided to use Dolphy Dream in this case, and I picked this one, which is a DC H16 head. So
mm-hmm.
Volks has a whole bunch of heads. I think number 16 probably fits Ellen. You can kind of see some of the
I can see it.
similarities
Yeah.
in there. So if you wanted to make a custom out of a Dolphy Dreamhead, you could do that. And I also tried other sculpts in Dolphy Dream because the male sculpt is not very it's not done very often in any vinyl doll really. The males are very
No.
rare. So I chose some other ones which are limited heads, which I don't usually do, but again, male heads are a little bit more rare. So I was like, let's try it out, which would be these two, which you
Mm,
have both Vocaloids here. So you have Len on the
yeah.
top, and then you have Kaito on the bottom. And I think
And
you could use either of these, but probably more so Kaito on the bottom.
definitely.
Looks more like Ellen than Len does at the top. But again, I was trying to
When I
find
saw
more male
Kaito,
sculpts.
yeah, when I saw Kaito's like pre-order or whatever it was, I mean, I've already got my Ellen, so I'm like, I'm
Hmm.
fine. But I when I saw him, I was like, ooh, he would actually make a really good Ellen. But yeah, no, I've got my Ellen.
But yeah,
No, good
that's
picks. I could see them all working for
but
sure.
that's really like what this whole section is about for Dream Doll. Is just something that wasn't. Oh, I got something. Angel Kitten. Thank you for subscribing. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, it's just a section that I have here, just like what ifs kind of thing. If anybody wanted to
Hmm.
make a special character, what would you use? And I think, obviously Lavely already made her character, so we have living proof on screen here that you can see. But if you wanted to make your own character, just like Lavely, you could get your hands on a Suzaku if you can find one secondhand somewhere out there.
Yeah, good luck.
Or you
Yeah.
could get one of these Dolphy Dream heads and try and make your own custom Aaron that way as well.
Mm.
But
There are
that's it.
ways around it.
That is it. That really wraps up
Time.
everything. We are at 3 hours 45 minutes. Wow, I'm getting close to that
That is
4 hour mark.
not bad.
Not bad. It's like almost a normal stream time for me. Like when I stream Final Fantasy, it's around 3.5 hours, really.
Yeah, my streams run a minimum 3, so yeah.
But that's everything for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All of you that joined in live on the stream, or for those of you that are watching this later on the VODs, I hope you found this entertaining and informative. And for everyone that's new, meeting Lovely for the first time, go follow her on YouTube and on Twitch, where she normally streams, or on TikTok or Instagram. On the bottom of the screen, you could see her handles there.
So
Anything
thank you,
else you
Gabrielle.
want to? Anything else you want to add, Lovely, before we end off for the episode?
Don't think so. This has been an absolute pleasure, though. I've watched your content for a long time, and it's very cool to be a part of it. So no, thank you for reaching out, and I'm very happy to have been here. And sorry, but you're welcome for tangents. But sorry, blame John or maybe Corn. I don't know.
No, tangents are fine. I totally like tangents. So there's a lot of good things that can come out of them. So no
And you're very
worries.
easy to talk to, so it's cool.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I'll also thank you for coming on the show. And I do recognize that aside from your normal content that you streamed today, you had to take time out of that to join the show. So I do appreciate that. Thank you everybody that came over from Lovely's stream to participate in today's episode and hear what we have to say about YouTube and Twitch and dolls. I noticed a couple of
And
you
anime.
and anime. I noticed a couple of you at the very beginning of the stream was like, I know nothing about dolls. I'm here for the fun. So
That was Sylvie. Sylvie's been here the whole time. Sylvie MVP. I told you, Sylvie is the best.
So yeah, it was a great show. Like I said, thank you everybody for coming. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. For those of you that watch my channel a lot, remember next week is going to be the Doll Symposium, which is usually all about doll news and what's going on. And then after that will be the next episode of Beyond the Doll. There's not going to be a guest on that one, as we're still trying to work out schedules for other guests coming in. So it'll just be me next time talking about. You'll see when it comes up. I don't want to give away the topic, so. But thanks everybody. As always, I am your host Shizusan, and my beautiful little guest that popped in the very beginning and at the very end of the episode is Asuna from Sword Art Online. And thank you again, Lovely, for participating in today's show, and thank you for bringing B on camera, because she's kind of like the doll that started it all for your channel growing. So it's very fun
Indeed.
to see her. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
on my shoulders.